Welcome in, and a very happy Wednesday for all of you. It is the last day of September. It is a historical day. Why would you say, well, September 30, 2020, what's historical about that? How about, first time in history, 8 Major League playoff baseball games going on. A couple of them going on right now. Cubs leading the Marlins 1-0. Braves, Cincy, zip in a real shootout. Man, we're having a good day, that is for sure. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the NBA Championship Series between the Heat and LeBron's L.A. Lakers all begins. 8 Major League playoff games today with the NBA Championship Series beginning. Wow, what a day. It was not a good day for the NFL. Their first football game canceled for the moment. The Steelers, the Titans, we were talking about that with Bo Marchand, who decided because of the restrictions they were going to have in Nashville that there would not he wasn't even going to go try to cover it, and his beat is basically the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then today they canceled it, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and they're going to play without practicing. The Vikings, who were the team the Titans played, they have stopped practicing until Thursday, but they are planning on playing their game. In the meantime, 78 new cases. We'll get into that in a little bit, so those numbers keep coming down. FedEx today announced they'd be hiring thousands in Memphis for the holiday, so at least something good is happening there. But 3,800 employees will be added for the holidays by FedEx and 70,000 worldwide. So thank goodness FedEx is doing its part to keep the pandemic at bay. So good to have you with us on what is absolutely a perfect fall day. Doesn't it feel that way, Brett Norsworthy?
It does, Dave, and a lot there on your opening. Paul Kaharski in Nashville reporting that the Titans and the Steelers will play Monday, and you omitted 2 other baseball scores going on. Astros lead the Twins 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th. And the A's all over the White Sox 4-0 in the top of the 3rd. And the baseball guys just had them a good chuckle over how they did extra innings this year and just said, Reds and Braves, you're playing till midnight. Yeah. 25 innings. We're halfway home. I hope they do. I hope it gets down to backup catchers pitching. Well, take that, baseball.
It is the bottom of the 12th. We got a long way to go to get to 25
Halfway
innings.
Home. I can't wait.
Yeah. Could end with a swing here. Atlanta's got a man on with a 1 out and in the bottom of the 12th. So you're right. It is just a glorious day outside. It truly is. We have a glorious program planned for you. TJ Reeves down in Tampa will join us at 3:30. We're going to make our pick for the NBA Finals. Man, I keep vacillating on this one. My heart says one thing. My head says another. I don't know which one's going to win. I really don't. Barrett Jones on the very first SEC crazy weekend and what we can expect this weekend. Every SEC team playing again on Saturday. Barrett Jones will join us at 4. At 4:30, the Preakness. Yes. Usually the middle race, now the final race in the Triple Crown. There will be no 'Tis the Law, but the winner of the Derby, Authentic, is the favorite to win the Preakness. And from Philly, our friend Dick Girardi will join us, and we'll figure out who is going to win this thing. The Tigers are getting ready to play SMU. The man who's been the voice of the SMU Mustangs for a while, Rich Phillips, will join us at 5 o'clock to talk about that particular matchup. The bowl business with Steve Earhart from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. That comes your way at 5:30, and we will crunch things up coming your way with Taco Bell Crunch Time at about 5:50. I suspect
why are you having the head versus heart battle for the NBA Finals? I'm not. I'm going to take a flyer. To me, and I'm not stealing it from him, but our friend Keith Smith from Yahoo Sports that will join us tomorrow at 4 o'clock. He has the same kind of push and pull that you're having that I was having, and he said to him it felt a lot like the year the Pistons upset the Lakers. I think that was '04 or '05, '04 maybe.
There's the Bad Boys. Are you talking about after the Bad Boys? Oh, you're talking about
Rip and Chauncey.
Yeah.
And I have that same feeling that this might just be the Miami Heat's time to pull the upset. They're plenty athletic. And, Dave, you were away on Monday, and I mentioned this is a really good Lakers team. If you got LeBron James on your team, you're really good. If you got Anthony Davis on your team, you're really good. You got Rondo and Kuzma and other pieces and patterns that they have on their team. But even if they win it, is this a great all-time Lakers team? I know LeBron's great.
No.
Not even close.
Well, first off, a lot of those great Lakers teams had players the equivalent or close to of LeBron and Anthony Davis, and then had really good players to go with it. And I don't see beyond. I mean, Rondo's way past his prime, and Kuzma is yet to get to his prime. I like him, but they're not in roles, let's say, like Gail Goodrich might have been, or so you had Kareem.
But if they win this one, they got as many as Gail Goodrich got.
Yeah. Gail Goodrich only got one, right?
That's all he and Jerry West got.
That's just hard to believe. That really
Isn't it?
Hard to believe.
And, for a long time, that was Peyton in the NFL until he tacked on that second one with Denver.
Yeah.
He was really kind of Jerry West.
Well, it's hard, especially football, because you are so reliant on many more things. On football, you've got another side of the ball that you got to take into account that you have nothing.
That you have no control over.
Yeah, nothing.
That's right.
So
nothing. That is a great point. I mean, just, Peyton couldn't play nose guard.
No. If he did, he wouldn't have lasted as long as he did. I promise you that with that neck. No way.
No, the knees would have got shot too down in those trenches. But I'm looking forward to the battering ram of sports that we will have going on tonight with the NBA Finals starting. I'm looking forward to it. I love watching LeBron James play basketball and him in the finals again. It is something, though, Dave. That debate that's out there, and they are at each other's throats, and they are always very, very sensitive to the other one and whatever they say. And no, I'm not talking about the debate last night. I'm talking about the LeBron versus Michael Jordan fans debate. Man, they throw down with each other.
Well, that's part of the reason why I hate to add to that, fuel to the fire here. But part of my kind of wanting Miami, and I'm leaning in that direction. I know we're making our picks here in a little bit, but I'm leaning in that direction because I think there's no question Jimmy Butler's going to play well. I just the other pieces that have come into play that have been so good, they have to continue to do that. I think they will. Adebayo and Hero, I think, are really settling in. So I think that'll continue. But part of the reason I kind of want Miami has to do with that same discussion that is going on there. The fewer amount of championships that LeBron wins, the more argument can be made. He's a great player, but he's not Michael Jordan.
Now, is that your Bulls fandom?
Yes, that is my Bulls fandom.
Okay, understood, because you don't feel that way about Tiger knocking off Jack.
I wanted Tiger to knock off Jack. I did. Yeah, I did.
But you don't want LeBron even in the same discussion group with Michael Jordan?
That is correct. Because
okay,
honestly, I've never said this to you before, but here's the deal. Like, I was an Arnie fan more than I was a Jack Nicklaus fan. I became a Jack Nicklaus fan, and what he did in 1986, I loved. I appreciated. But I was an Arnie guy. So I wasn't steadfast like, I don't want Tiger to – I wanted Tiger to break those records. No question. I wanted Tiger. I don't want LeBron to break any kind of records of Michael Jordan's.
Yeah, that's fine. And you know my love of Coach Paul Bear Bryant. And even though I do, and I have a lot of regard and respect, especially for how very kind Nick Saban, his entire staff was to a family member of mine for 4 years there. But in my opinion, Nick Saban's already eclipsed Coach Bryant as the best college football coach of all time. No, not in the number of wins, but in the number of championships close enough to his, and in the time that he did it. But I don't want, and we talked about this on Monday with Anthony saying, I don't want to throw down and lose a friend and get into a eyeball pulling, hair pulling fight over who's better, Paul Bryant or Nick Saban. They're both great.
Yeah. I would tell you this. I think it was a little harder for Nick because Nick had to do it with only 85 scholarships. The sport was much more equalized with Nick, and all of the great athletes played in the Nick Saban era, whereas that did not occur in most of the Bear Bryant era, or a lot of the Bear Bryant era, I should say.
And some of Coach Bryant's era was still segregated football.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, he was instrumental in changing that, but it took a long time for the rest of the sport to kind of get to that. But we will have it play out. I hope the NBA Finals go 7. I hope it for the NBA, for their inventory. We know with every passing game, the ratings would only build to a big Game 7. And one way you can enjoy all these playoffs and all these games is with FanDuel. There are more ways to win than ever before on the FanDuel Fantasy app. From daily fantasy to new season-long contests, you can play for free or join paid games to compete for real cash prizes. Right now, FanDuel giving new players 20% of their first deposit, up to $500 in bonus credit added instantly to your new account. Use your bonus to try partial season best ball. That's FanDuel's newest way to play fantasy football. Best ball contests are the simplest way to play season-long fantasy. There's no lineups to set, no waivers to claim, no trades to make. Just draft your team and FanDuel will do the rest. Enter by October 1st to get in before this round of best ball ends. Your old favorites are still available as well, including Gridiron Pick'em. Just pick the winners of Sunday's NFL matchups correctly for your chance to earn up to $5,000 every week, absolutely free. And when you win, FanDuel pays out your winnings in as little as 24 hours. If you haven't tried FanDuel yet, what are you waiting for? Simply download the FanDuel Fantasy app today to get started and claim your deposit bonus of up to $500. Age and location-based restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at LexusofMemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the golden opportunity, late September into October sales event. If you ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? You will at Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. Put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833, online at LexusofMemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, I will start with the COVID numbers. Again, number of cases and positivity continue to go down. We're talking 78 new cases. So now we're at 31,540 total. But just think about the way this has settled down into double digits 3 or 4 days in a row now. That is incredible. There were 5 new deaths after none the last 2 days, so that is very sad. 462 total. We had 1,876 tests. And again, well below 5%, 4.2% positivity. Yesterday it was 3.8% positivity. So you're talking in the last 2 days, almost 5,000 tests, and the average is 4% positivity or close to it. That is something that you can feel pretty good about. One sign, not good, acute care hospital beds did go up to 91% being filled. That means only 90%, 91 to 9% are open, and that is called the red zone. However, the intensive care beds have gone down, so that is a good sign. United States, 7.5 million cases, 211,000 fatalities, but we're down to 2.5 million active cases. And around the world now, 34 million cases, just over a million fatalities, 25 million, however, have recovered.
My top story, NBA Finals tonight. Also, Yankees at Cleveland. At the same time, the Dodgers hosting Milwaukee will start a little bit later, about 9 o'clock. A lot's been made of the NBA ratings on TV since the restart. I think most fair-minded people can understand the early tranche of games in the bubble. Well, 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, that's not prime TV time watching. I mean, I think fair people can see that. And also, fair people can see, I don't know how the numbers are going to shake out tonight, but most years the NBA Finals Game 1 doesn't fall on September 30th. So we'll see, but I do want to see what Lakers versus Dodgers in the L.A. market, what those local ratings look like, and then nationally what it looks like with two big markets going against the NBA tonight, with New York on the East Coast and Los Angeles on the West Coast, kind of conflicting with the NBA on ABC.
Well, I think the Yankees will do quite well in New York City. Considering the Knicks are not in the playoffs, it'll be interesting to see, and maybe a good barometer of where we're at, because it's both playoffs, although one's the championship series with the Dodgers and with the Lakers. I also think you have to look to see not just the numbers being diminished because there were afternoon games, and people were still working. I know there was plenty at home with pandemic issues, but most are working if they're at home. And so morning, mid-morning in the West Coast and afternoon games for a long time, those hurt the numbers. And the other aspect is now they were up against baseball every night. They were up against college football here in the NFL of late. So there's always been a lot more competition to these NBA games than they normally would have had in the middle of February. So that needs to be taken into account as well.
Not top story of the day.
Well, they've made the decision. It just came out. College football's playoffs will stay at 4 teams. I didn't think anything was going to be changing, to be honest with you. But in the back of my head, I was hoping, I was thinking, well, they need revenue. They need maybe more of a stream here. I guess without fans, maybe that doesn't quite matter as much, but it would have meant more TV money. I was hoping they'd go to 8 and there would be a place at the table for the group of 5, but that was not meant to be. And one last thing that I could have really done without, Miami has just come up with 3 runs in the 7th. They lead my Cubs with only 1 out and still 1 man on at first. They lead the Cubs 3-1.
That Cub game's on ABC yesterday, the first game on ABC, the network, not ESPN, a division of, but on ABC, the home of all my children, the home of happy days since the 1995 World Series. My not top story, NFL planning on Steelers and Titans. They were planning on it on Sunday, and as we closed last night saying, everybody's planning on it until the plans get canceled. Now they've been canceled. They're not playing Sunday. Looking like Monday, maybe into Tuesday, who knows? But they're not playing Sunday. And all these plans and all these admonitions and all these big, bawdy, pound-chesting statements of we're playing with fans, all sound great till you get up to it, and we know in this year of the pandemic, norms change quickly. Schedule should be made in lightly shaded pencil.
The norm is that we're on a roller coaster ride. That's really what the norm is. We can mention yesterday the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and TJ Reeves is going to join us here in less than 10 minutes. And, he's sort of excited because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have decided after their health department declared it okay that they could have 10,000 people at their football game this coming Sunday. But then the day after, we find out the Titans and the Steelers are canceled at the moment. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday they'll get the game in. There won't be very many practices at all for the Titans. They're going to have to battle through that. And so we take a step back. I mentioned those COVID numbers, and I forgot to mention today the official cancellation of the Mid-South Fair. So we are just in this state where basically you got to take the good and expect that there will be some bad that's thrown in. And I read this interesting story today my wife sent to me that said, for those who expect normalcy to just happen, you are going to be disappointed that normalcy might never come back the way that it was. But if you're expecting it to occur just because we might have a vaccine, and I do believe we'll have a vaccine by the new year, how quickly that gets distributed, how many people will take that, how quickly we can get back to really sort of the old days where you don't have to wear a mask to go into a grocery store, I think that's a long way away. And the point of this article was to avoid depression, is to accept the fact that we're not anywhere near getting to normalcy. And also in the back of your mind, plant that we always adapt as culture to changes. And most of the time, a change is gradual, takes 5 years for that to occur. This change has been sudden, and for us to ever get back to that might not occur, but if it does, it will take a great deal of time. Prepare yourself psychologically for that, I guess, is really the point the article was making. We are underway, and I'll let you know, still going on, still underway. The world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure, up to 30% off. Spas and swim spas, you can choose from hundreds of different spas and from multiple manufacturers. These are state-of-the-art, they are high-tech, and they're just fun. And you can get them at a great price right now during the world's biggest spa sale, and there is special financing available. Also, as the season comes to an end, many of you winding down your pools, even if you've got heaters, it's getting too cold at night, there's special pricing on chemicals and accessories. Cash in this weekend. Professional delivery, well, that's always available no matter what time of year it is, because they make it right. They want to make your patio or your backyard a staycation getaway. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Wooden Road. That's where you'll find all these deals and this big spa sale at Family Leisure. We're officially underway. To Tampa we go in a minute. Our friend TJ Reeves is standing by. This is Sports Time.
R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1. Don't miss us.
All 75 months at 2.99 APR, G4, LHFO 7472, Outlander, LU 029957, Eclipse, LZO 15617. Includes all rebates and incentives, PF 59875, excludes tax, title, and license. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details.
Gossett's Mitsubishi Madness is in full swing at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike, and you'll find deals to get this party started. 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage G4 gets 41 MPG Highway. We Gossett at $139 a month or buy for $12,435. 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, built to handle any adventure at $229 a month or buy for $18,573. And take the 2020 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross for a spin at $19,107 or $229 a month. Get confidence today, tomorrow, and long into the future with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Mirage G4, $139 a month. Outlander Sport, $229 a month. And Eclipse Cross, $229 a month. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
You know what sounds good? Fresh sandwiches and salads, homemade soups and desserts. And you know where to find all this delicious food? Paradise Cafe at Poplar and Ridgeway in the Regalia Shopping Center. The name says it all. Paradise Cafe makes their food fresh. Salads, sandwiches, cookies, and brownies. Hand-selected fruit, pimento cheese, even 4 kinds of chicken salad. The homemade soups change daily. They're said to be the best in the city. Try the signature turkey burger on ciabatta or shrimp salad on a croissant. Then Then top it off with a low-fat shake. Paradise Cafe has 11 kinds. Paradise Cafe, open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 to 2:30. Observing current social distancing guidelines with patio seating. Curbside pickup and delivery are also available. Fresh and homemade for you. That's Paradise Cafe in the heart of East Memphis at Poplar and Ridgeway inside the Regalia Shopping Center. You know what sounds good? Paradise Cafe.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
The day has come for huge savings at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat with Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days going strong on Covington Pike. Get 0% APR plus no payments for 90 days. New 2020 Jeep Cherokee Latitude IIHS top safety pick $21,740 or $275 a month. 2020 Dodge Challenger, a muscle car with best-in-class cargo volume, $24,690 or $318 a month. 2020 Dodge Charger, America's fastest four-door muscle car, $24,990 or $329 a month. And 2020 Ram 1500 Tradesman Quad Cab, $366 a month. Drive past the rest. Come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat, 1901 Covington Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 3.99 APR, 3,500 down. Must finance through Chrysler, Cherokee, LD 561583, Challenger, LH 214,740, Charger, LH 116,732, 1500, LS 139,171. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join Pete Cordelli and me for Sidelines Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. on Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1 FM. We'll cover the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, recruiting. Hey, if they keep score, we're covering it. Check us out on the website at sports56whbq.com and sidelines.live. Sidelines is brought to you by Duncan Williams Asset Management. Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. Get up and give us a call.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stack. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
I was just talking about the roller coaster of life that we are on in this 2020 pandemic. Good news, bad news. It seems like it always hits us this way. Good news today. How about the market up 330-plus points? It's again inching near 28,000. However, the Cubs are now down 5-1. The White Sox are down 5-0. Wow. Houston leads Minnesota 3-1. Brett's wish of 25 innings. They're in the 13th. But the Reds have the bases loaded in Atlanta with only one out. We'll keep you apprised.
Can you imagine an extra inning game just actually being played until somebody carves out a run? Unbelievable baseball. Now, this is probably only hurting in the future how extra innings will be handled because Manfred will probably see this, and it's blowing up the TV window. Everybody's blowing through their breaks locally, nationally, everything. And he'll probably want to institute extra innings after about 8 innings next year.
This game is, 3.5 hours old now? I think
started
that's right.
at 11.
Oh, it started at 11? It's 4.5 hours old.
Yep. Zip, zip.
Wow. Yeah, that's not going to go a long way to tell the commissioner we're not going to start with somebody on second base. That's silly, though.
He's silly. He's a very silly person.
Yeah. In the meantime, we go to Tampa and we give this gift to our friend T.J. Reeves.
You've been thunderstruck. Walk down the highway, broke the limit, we hit the top.
That is, in case you didn't know, Thunderstruck. Okay, I can only handle so much of that. This AC/DC. Thunderstruck for the Stanley Cup champion Thunder from the Lightning, I should say.
Yep. Somehow I
From-
don't think
from
that
Tampa.
is on your playlist on your iPod.
No,
there on that Wolo.
I do like rock and roll. I have a son that is has his own hard rock and roll band, but AC/DC was never on the top of my list. Like, even in my day, that kind of thing,
Right.
Grand Funk Railroad, and I
Uh-huh.
liked rock and roll, I really do. But even Grand Funk Railroad,
You were
was not
more
my
of like
thing.
the Rolling Stones.
Oh,
you were
yeah.
more of that.
Rolling Stones,
Right,
Who,
yeah.
I like. Yes, if you wanted some abstract stuff, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
I know
I
that
love
was
Pink
nailed
Floyd.
on the chalkboard for Brett. I know that's not his cup of tea. I will tell you this: when that music cranks up inside of the Lightning's arena and they come on the ice, it is hair on the back of your neck stand-up time, especially in a playoff game. And so we missed that. We missed that with all of this going on in bubbles in Toronto and Edmonton. They did a phenomenal job of creating the setting and creating whatever, but each individual arena, being able, or each stadium being able to bring the players out in front of the fans the way that they normally do. Again, that song has kind of become synonymous over the last 20 years with the Lightning. And what's interesting, I don't know if you've mentioned the flotilla parade as of yet.
No.
That the Lightning are about to have. Okay, so here's the deal. They flew back from Edmonton with the Stanley Cup, landed yesterday afternoon. This is the first time that the players have seen their families in person in 71 days. For them, it had to be Groundhog Day every day, all day in Toronto, and then for 3 weeks in Edmonton while they were there. So they're back. So because of social distancing guidelines here, even though some things have opened up, they've decided to do the parade as a boat parade, as a flotilla for about 30 or 45 minutes down towards downtown Tampa. And Wolo, you're familiar, and Brett, you are a little bit, but Wolo, you've stayed downtown where the arena is. They're going to float by on the Hillsborough River, and there are going to be people lining kind of the route, looking out, waving, socially distanced. And then they're going to make their way to the Buccaneers Stadium, to Raymond James Stadium, because it can hold more people than the hockey arena with the social distance guidelines. So the flotilla parade is happening in about 30 minutes, and then the big event at the stadium is going to have some 18,000 at it, which would typically be the full crowd at the hockey arena. And I'm willing to bet you a Mel's hot dog that when the Lightning come out of the tunnel with the Stanley Cup, that's the song. Drew, do you have more of that, or did you hit delete? I predict this will be the song that they come out of the tunnel with, holding the cup, with the socially distanced 18,000 that AC/DC will be blaring on the Raymond James Stadium speakers. And again, local TV is going to show this. We got the Rays playoff game going on right now. You guys are talking about the baseball playoffs. But local TV is going to show this. Fox Sports Sun, the regional cable outlet, is going to show this live. And who knows who else might pick it up a little bit live. I know the baseball playoffs are going on, but at least down here, this is a big deal today.
I think this is truly a cruel thing that the Tampa Bay Lightning management is doing to their players. I mean, they haven't seen their wives or girlfriends in 70 in all these months.
Right.
And you're not letting them go home to see their folks?
Well, they got to go home last night.
Oh, okay.
They allegedly. They got to go home last night because they landed yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, and so they've been around the day. But, yes, so.
TJ, any local restrictions or guidelines off of the ceremonial drinking from the cup. We know that's a tradition everywhere, and we know or a few years ago Alexander Ovechkin took it to a new level, because there's got to be at least one health department Weisenheimer down there that's never been able to tell anybody what to do in their life, issuing instructions on how to properly drink from the Stanley Cup.
Well, that's a good point.
You're
I don't
not
know
going to
if
be
we,
able to. I guarantee it.
I don't know if we're going to have separate, I don't know, sanitizing of it. I don't think so. But it doesn't seem to matter to these guys, because they were passing it around, whether they can drink from it or not. I mean, they were passing it around and enjoying it, and their names are all going to go on it. And it's just wild. I mean, somebody had to win, and you hate it for 5 seconds for Dallas. Okay, I'm going to hate it for 3, 2, 1. You hate it for Dallas. But you love the fact that the Lightning were able to win, because it is an all-time trivia type thing. Who won this crazy 2020 relaunch of the season and the playoffs in the bubble?
Yeah.
There's only one team that's going to be able to say that. So it's wild, and it is the first of what could be a very wild next few months here, especially if the Rays do some damage in the playoffs and win some series. But for right now, the hockey fans, and this is a hockey area, they have a huge following. They had massive local ratings. I know the rest of the country was watching Monday Night Football with the Chiefs and the Ravens the other night, for the most part. But the ratings here were massive locally. So this is a big deal down here, guys.
I was going back and forth. I thought it was terrific, and I thought the NHL did an unbelievable job. When you consider they played 130 games in 59 days, I mean, and what people don't really quite understand, I don't think, how hard hockey is. Hockey is you're talking about a lot of contact. It's when you're out there, the shifts are only 30 seconds to 60 seconds, because you're sprinting basically the whole time you're there. You know, you got razor sharp skates that can cut the heck out of you. You've got sticks that people use like weapons. You've got a puck that goes 100 miles an hour on occasion that is hard rubber that would kill you if you're not. I mean, it's amazing how they did that.
Well, and you cannot overstate the fact that we kept talking back in April and May, when can we resume, and can you do it reasonably and safely? They did this the proper way without a single positive COVID test in Toronto or Edmonton.
That's
because
amazing.
They locked it down. They had restaurants, they had hotels, they had employees for all of that were there, that were willing to stay there. There were some serious sacrifices that were made, but the NHL did something like 35,000 COVID tests between all the teams and all the personnel over the course of the last 2 months, and didn't have a single positive test. So they proved it could work. They did it safely, and now it's the NBA's turn. I know Memphis is a big NBA market, and you've got the Lakers and the Heat. I'll even tell you something. Although I don't think we talked about this briefly earlier this morning when we talked briefly. Mrs. Reeves and I were over at Disney yesterday, and we did not spy LeBron James in the gift shop over at the Magic Kingdom, or Jimmy Butler hanging out around Space Mountain to ride the ride. So they're focused. They're ready to go. They're locked down in their bubble, and they're ready to begin the NBA playoffs. And Adam Silver and the NBA are on the cusp here of being able to resume and finish their season and their postseason. And there should be a lot of credit for that, too, when that finishes up as well, because there was a lot of doubt about whether it could be pulled off.
Just so you brought it up, are there a lot of people at Disney?
There were some yesterday. It is eerie. You're walking around with masks. It's probably about a quarter of the crowd. Obviously, there are a lot of people scared to go back, understandably so. They're doing an amazing job with sanitizing everything on the hour, all the rides, all the areas where you are. So they're doing the best they can. But, I mean, Disney announced yesterday they've laid off or furloughed some 25,000-plus employees between Disney World, Disneyland, and their properties and their corporations. So they are hard hit, but they've at least demonstrated that this bubble can work. In the circumstances where they're at the different hotels, they have their own secluded restaurants, they have their workers, and now they're going to play the NBA. And college basketball is going to apparently play a bunch, Wolo, and the Memphis Tigers may be involved with this.
No,
as well as some SEC schools to come down here and play in a similar type Orlando bubble environment for a week or a weekend or something like that.
No, the Tigers, and it's pretty official now. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of Thanksgiving week, including Thanksgiving Day, the University of Memphis Tigers will be involved in the tournament that was going to be in Atlantis. It is going to be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the Pentagon.
Gotcha.
So that is where they will be. Now, they have got it tough. I mean, this is going to be the greatest schedule that they have ever played because the teams they're playing there are all around top 25 programs. The only one that bailed is Duke, and Duke is doing their own thing, which is, they're going to get to do their own tournament in their arena. So, who's shocked at that? But then Memphis, so that's 3 games, all against elite level competition. And then Memphis has 4 games that are not home games that are against Tennessee on a neutral, Ole Miss at Ole Miss, Georgia at Georgia, and Auburn in the NBA Arena, Phillips Arena in Atlanta. So
State Farm Arena.
Or State Farm.
Right.
Yeah. So you're talking about the only week games that Memphis will play will be against the bottom feeders of the American, which are perennially East Carolina and Tulane. And after that, I mean, you've got one heck of a schedule. So you'll have 16 games against really good conference foes, and then those 7 non-conference games against elite-level teams. Wow.
And I believe Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, and Michigan State, I think this is confirmed, but it's been rumored for like the last 2 weeks. They're going to play in Orlando in this similar kind of bubble thing in the Champions Classic. And I think I saw there are at least 5 or 6 tournaments that are going to have 8 teams in them that are going to play in the similar Orlando bubble to try to get all of these games in at a neutral place. And where can you play? So the college basketball will be coming around here in about 45 days or so to play, maybe 60 days for a lot of these schools. So we'll see how that all begins to play out. But yeah, it's amazing that we have all of this at once right now, including with the football going on. Oh, by the way, the football going on, the SEC back, and the NFL going on, so we've got a lot. We got a lot happening.
No doubt about it. And you've got the Bucs are at home, and they're allowing people for the first time, right?
That's correct. So for this week, it is the first time. It's the second home game. It's the first time that fans will be able to be there, and they're kind of doing like a soft experimental thing that a lot of different teams are doing that are allowing fans back. For example, Bucs played in Denver last week. They only allowed about 5,000 fans there at Mile High. For that one, Bucs should have somewhere around 10,000 for this one, and the goal would be 20% capacity, around 18,000, something like that. But the Packers game later in October that most of the country will see. It'll be the main game on Fox when the Packers play the Buccaneers. So you're slowly getting some fans back. I know the SEC debuted with the 20% or the 25% with the ones that they want to play. So some fans better than no fans, and let's hope that we continue to make progress with all that.
My friend, we appreciate it so much, and stay healthy, have fun Sunday, and I know you got a big football game coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that the next time.
Sure.
That's Alabama and Georgia,
I am not
right?
going to be part of the flotilla parade that is about to happen for the Lightning. I will be watching, in addition to the Rays game, with what goes on with the ceremony at the stadium. You'll probably see highlights on that. A wild, wild time in 2020 with the sports. So
you're all of a sudden, you guys could really be Titletown. Titletown could be Tampa.
If the Rays win today, then they're going to advance on and be one of the final 8 teams that are playing.
We're
so
aware.
Let's see what happens.
We're aware. The Chicago teams are going the other way. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. That is our friend T.J. Reeves down in Tampa. By the way, where they're doing that flotilla, Memphis has stayed in a hotel on that spot in that area by the downtown and by where the arena is. And every day they have an old battleship, a U.S. Navy battleship that goes through that little area, and tourists line up to see it, and they have a water cannon and everything. It's really what Tampa's done with their downtown is absolutely terrific. This portion of the show is brought to you by James Davis Men's Store. I'm doing these TV shows now. I really need to go get some new Stant shirts. I do. This is the only place, James Davis, that you can find the Stant custom shirt and pants system. It's the only place in Memphis that has stand. It is. And this is where you walk in, 3 quick measurements, and a week later for $98, you got a custom fit shirt. And I'm telling you, it's the best custom fit shirt. I don't know exactly how it works. It's computer driven, and a lot of smart things go into this thing. But I've done it where I've gotten custom made shirts before where they took like 80 measurements. This shirt fits better than those. Same thing now with pants, $168, a few measurements. You walk in, takes you 30 seconds, and a week later you got a pair of pants. And they fit in the waist and they fit in the legs. They're not baggy there. I mean, it is wonderful. And they're ending here. It's coming to a close. The spring and summer final clearance, 70 to 80% off. Go check to see if they've got what you might have in sports shirts or in sports coats. They still have. You got to look good on those Zoom calls. So go check it out. That's James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. It didn't last 25, Brett Norsworthy. It is over in Atlanta. They were able to get out of the top of the 13th with the bases loaded and 1 out, and they've scored the winner in the bottom of the 13th. 1-0. The Braves are winners today. 1-0 in 13, 5-1 Miami over the Cubs, 5-0 Oakland over the White Sox, and Tampa leads 3-2 bottom of the second in their game against Toronto. That's the craziness that's going on in baseball right now. We're back to put a wrap on our number 1 in just a minute. This is Sports Time on Sports 56.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Get ready to fall in love with driving again in your new Kia from Gossett Kia on the Pike. Get everything you want with the 2020 Forte, just $131 a month. Or hit the road in 2020 Soul, $148 a month. And transform your driving experience this fall in the all-new 2021 K5, now $189 a month. All 36-month leases in just $3149 due at signing. And you'll get peace of mind you can trust with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. It's time to get your Kia on at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, excludes acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte LE 2249.63, Soul L7120906, K5MG 003-199. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 598.75. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Not all customers will qualify.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs.
Now that the storm has passed, Lowe's is ready to move home forward. Our Pro Team is here for your Pro Team every step of the way. We have the essentials to repair and rebuild, to get homes and neighborhoods back up and running. It's what we do, what we've always done, what we'll continue to do. We also offer job site delivery to save you valuable time. Find what you need in-store or 24/7 at lowesforpros.com. Lowe's, because now more than ever before, home unites us.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
We like to party.
Nice to have you back with us on this gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. I mentioned earlier, it's pretty well official now. Memphis is going to play at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the week of the Thanksgiving holiday. They'll play 3 games on a Wednesday, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, and Friday. And it'll be against top-notch competition, so it's really going to be a lot of fun this year to watch all these games. And Penny has a big week coming this week. It should begin tonight at 6 o'clock, right when we get off the air. A young man from Brewster Academy, a kid named John Camden, is most likely, most people think, a 4-star, is going to sign with the University of Memphis. And then tomorrow, the Nesbitt kid from St. Louis is supposed to commit, and most of the crystal balls have him going to Penny Hardaway and Memphis. And then Friday, I am now told, and this is sort of new, there's a big man that I think is going to choose between Memphis and Kansas on Friday. This could be an incredibly big week for Penny Hardaway, who, despite the loss of Mike Miller, it's crazy. They haven't replaced that position, and I wonder now if they will, considering the hardships that they've had in the athletic department with these layoffs. But and maybe they'll delay it for a year. I mean, they could take somebody that's on staff right now, like a Rodney Hamilton, for instance, who's been an assistant coach, who's the ops guy, and maybe elevate him. I'm just throwing that out. I don't know anything like that, but despite the fact that Mike left, and Mike was instrumental in a lot of the recruiting, particularly last year's heralded class, Penny has stepped up, and if he gets these guys, I mean, he has not missed a beat, Brett Norsworthy.
No, he hadn't.
I mentioned a little earlier that the proposal to expand the college football playoff to 8 teams has now been shelved. Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott suggested expanding the playoff platform from 8 teams for this to 8 teams for this season, but the College Football Playoff Management Committee did not approve the idea today. And that comes from the executive director, Bill Hancock, a guy that has been on this show several times before. I'm not shocked, but I certainly wish it had gone the other way.
Bill tells at every occasion that anybody will listen to him, they're going to ride out the life of this first contract. Nothing's going to change. Committee makeup, how they pick people, networks, sites, everything. Nothing's going to change.
That's the way it is. I thought there was a shot with this. A little bit, maybe. When you have one of the commissioners on board with it anyway, but it's certainly not the one that sits in a seat of power. That is an hour in the books. When we come back, we'll talk SEC football. Barrett Jones is standing by. Everybody's playing again this weekend. We'll talk about it in just a second.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now. Luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
You know what sounds good? Fresh sandwiches and salads, homemade soups and desserts. And you know where to find all this delicious food? Paradise Cafe at Poplar and Ridgeway in the Regalia Shopping Center. The name says it all. Paradise Cafe makes their food fresh. Salads, sandwiches, cookies, and brownies. Hand-selected fruit, pimento cheese, even 4 kinds of chicken salad. The homemade soups change daily. They're said to be the best in the city. Try the signature turkey burger on ciabatta or shrimp salad on a croissant. Then top it off with a low-fat shake. Paradise Cafe has 11 kinds. Paradise Cafe, open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 to 2:30. Observing current social distancing guidelines with patio seating. Curbside pickup and delivery are also available. Fresh and homemade for you. That's Paradise Cafe in the heart of East Memphis at Poplar and Ridgeway inside the Regalia Shopping Center. You know what sounds good? Paradise Cafe.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up? We're here to help you get it done. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX conventional motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And with our next day delivery and free same-day store pickup, you can get it fast, your way. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies, we will hand you $100 if we can't. And thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's time to catch the falling prices at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah during our Fallback Kia sales event. You'll find best mass market brand and initial quality 5 years running for Kia with J.D. Powers, and we goss it all at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah. Get 2020 Forte $131 a month, 36-month lease. How about a 2020 Soul $148 a month, 36-month lease? And check out the all-new 2021 Kia K5, now just $189 a month, 36-month lease. And they're all just $3149 due at signing. And in these uncertain times, Gossett says rest assured with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, excludes acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte LE 2249.63, Soul L7120906, warranty is a limited powertrain warranty, see Kia.com or retailer for details, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 598.75, excludes tax line and license, see dealer for complete details, not all customers will qualify.
It's fall, y'all, and Sports 56 is hitting the road. This Friday, Sports 56 Middays with Greg and me will be at Frontier Western Store at 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your leader in selling Western apparel and footwear, as well as workwear and gear. Join us for food, prizes, and a chance to win Ole Miss Alabama football tickets. Lunch will be catered by Moe's Southwest Grill of Olive Branch. That's Sports 56 Middays at Frontier Western Store this Friday, October 2nd.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, WPGFLP Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome in on a fabulous Thursday baseball front and center. First time in history, 8 playoff games on tap with Major League Baseball. And already we've had some in the books. And in particular, it was crazy with Cincinnati, Atlanta. They went 13 innings. And Atlanta walks away a 1-0 winner. Tampa big up on Toronto, 7-0 already in the second. That would get Toronto, the Rays to the second round already. 5-1 Miami over Chicago in Wrigley. That one is in the bottom of the eighth. Cubs in trouble. Oakland in control over the White Sox. That series will be tied 1-1. That game 5-zip A's in the middle of the sixth. And, of course, this afternoon, or tonight I should say, we will have the first game between the Lakers and Miami. And we have to make our picks on that coming up. I guess we will do that at about 4:50 today. The Celtics or the Heat or the Lakers, and we will figure that one out for sure. In the meantime, we love chatting with Barrett Jones from ESPN Radio, and, of course, former NFLer and All-American at Alabama and a star here at ECS High School. Memphian, through and through, lives here now. Barrett Jones, good afternoon to you. So what was your favorite upset this week? Was it the Kansas State overcoming Oklahoma down 21 points, or was it what Mississippi State did to LSU in Baton Rouge? That incredible debut for KJ Costello. Good afternoon.
What's up, guys? How we doing? First of all, it was just so fun, wasn't it? Just to have college football back. I think there was, I don't know, but maybe I'm alone in this, but for the first time in a while, things almost felt a little normal, and it was nice just to have that feeling where you turn on the TV and you have 7 great SEC games. And look, also I had the realization that it's going to be a really fun year. I mean, we're going to have some great quality football as far as 10 SEC games. Like, it's going to be awesome if you're an SEC football fan, which I know probably a lot of people in this area are. And so, anyway, all that to say, if I have to pick one, I'm going to go with Mississippi State LSU. Look, I was very surprised. I mean, I knew there would be a little bit of letdown with LSU. I thought they might look a little sloppy, and I was obviously surprised they lost. But the most surprising thing to me was just the numbers. I mean, goodness gracious, 623, I think it was, passing yards that they put up. Yep. It was unbelievable. And I don't know if they didn't watch any film ever on what Mike Leach does, because it wasn't like he was really doing anything different than he'd always done. They just went out there and tried to play man-to-man coverage against all these rub routes, and it did not go well. So I was very shocked, but also just reminded me of how fun and unpredictable college football can be at times.
Barrett, just one game, but Bo Pelini was just resistant as all get out to ever changing out of any defense, and Mike Leach and KJ Costello just kept lighting them up. And it will be a real transformation for LSU coaching-wise. They lost a lot off of that coaching staff last year. I give Ed Orgeron all due credit. He is defending national champion head coach of a 15-0 team, but Ed Orgeron now has to make some magic. Last year was the perfect storm. He will have to quickly tell Bo Pelini, if the quarterback for Vanderbilt, who I thought looked better at times than Kellen Mond last week, if he lights them up this week, Ed Orgeron's going to have to actually do something other than say, "Go Tigers."
Well, it certainly was not a good debut, and you're right. He looked extremely stubborn in the way that he did not make many adjustments, and they looked lost. I don't want to blame it all on Bo Pelini, because I literally have no knowledge of the way it's going to of if it was his fault or how the game plan was or all that. But I just know that as a coordinator, you have to have some responsibility, and as a head coach, you're right, of how prepared your guys are. They were not prepared for what they saw. And again, I don't know why you would be surprised. I mean, what did anyone expect Mike Leach to come there and run power I 14 times in a row? Like I certainly didn't. Yeah. So I don't know what you were expecting to see. This is his game. So it's definitely. It's one game, and so that's just the other thing. Like I'm not sounding the alarm bells really for anyone. It's one game, so let's not overreact, because especially with this off season, there was so much unpredictability. There was so much. The preparation was so different. You didn't have the same number of scrimmages, and so there were a lot of mistakes. But again, that's just part of the beauty of college football, is that it's not always perfect, and you kind of got to see which teams handle the pandemic preparation-wise better than others.
Yeah, and I feel a bit for LSU too. They became the first team. What was it, since 1998 as a defending champion to lose in the opener? But they weren't playing a cupcake opposition. You're playing 10 conference games, so they
were 16-point favorite.
Yeah, they were, and I'm shocked. I'm not trying to make any excuses for him. Mike Leach came in, and KJ Costello was incredible, and it could be a lot. Did you see, by the way, that in the new power rankings that one of the websites does, and they do a pretty good job of it and explaining it, they've moved Mississippi State all the way up to third. They were that impressed with that win over LSU. But this is going to be a weird year. When you're playing 10 conference games, we're going to see, I think, a bunch of surprising things. That will probably become a big part of the norm, Barrett.
Well, I think I haven't seen that exact ranking, but that might be an example of the exact exaggerations I was referring to. Let's not get too high or too low on anyone, because there was a lot of talk about the disadvantage that first-year coaches would have. And I think that's right. I do think first-year coaches have a disadvantage because obviously they didn't get time to install their system like they normally would. But I do think there are certain scenarios and spots, and I think Mike Leach is a good example, where the fact that he was a first-year coach and there was no spring game could have played to his advantage a little bit, because no one had seen KJ Costello. No one knew exactly what they were going to look like. Again, they didn't necessarily run anything mysterious, but I do think that just the something about never having seen a team before in your conference play any games, even on film, under that style. I do think that some of the I think Ole Miss is another example. Ole Miss put up a bunch of points because I think that Florida thought they were ready, but that tempo affected them, especially early. So I do think that they're on actual game day. That the first-year coaches had a little bit of success catching a few teams off guard.
Barrett, it was an offensive play-calling masterpiece Saturday for Lane Kiffin and Jeff Lebby. And another one in defeat was the defensive mastery, the defensive masterpiece that Barry Odom and Sam Pittman had ready for Georgia. I thought two first-year coaches in defeat had good moments on one side of the ball, but we know it's a three-phase game, and Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask were too much for a lot of teams to handle, and Kyle Pitts just ran down the middle of the field wide open all day.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, first of all, I've said this before on the show. I think Lane Kiffin is maybe the best game day play caller I've ever been around. I was surprised with how much the offense resembled UCF, maybe more so than Lane. I do think Jeff Lebby had obviously a huge impact. There was a lot of talk this offseason, if you're a football nerd, just how much UCF you would see and how much Lane you would see. And you really saw more UCF than Lane, honestly, just with the style and the way that it looked and the tempo. And look, talking to Lane, I think that is a acknowledgement that he understands, that at this point of his career, they don't have the talent to run with Florida and Alabama. And so they're going to have to have more of a system, which I respect and like. I like that they have a thing, and obviously it worked, and they scored a lot of points. Like defensively, I really enjoyed talking to DJ Durkin the day before the game. I think he was extremely impressive. I think the feeling around the Ole Miss football office, they couldn't exactly say this, but just kind of reading between the lines, was that they just kind of knew they didn't have the guys on that side of the ball. I mean, I really felt bad for DJ Durkin, calling plays, because on one hand, you pressure Kyle Trask. You don't really have the guys to get home. You certainly don't have the guys to cover on the back end. And you have one-on-one matchups that are just a nightmare all over the field. On the other hand, you sit back and play coverage, and you don't get any pressure. And you give Kyle Trask all day to sit back there and pick you apart, and still have Kyle Pitts can beat two guys in double coverage twice. So it really was a no-win scenario if you're a coordinator. I do think, again, I was very impressed, though, with the play calling. You also mentioned Barry Odom in Arkansas. I loved the fight, the intensity I saw from Sam Pittman and those guys. That was awesome. Georgia looked like they were sleepwalking a little bit. We'll see if JT Daniels is kind of their saving grace and can come up. He better be good, because if not, they're going to really struggle this year. But you're right. Arkansas defensively was very impressive in that first half.
You mentioned last week that when you were going to do this Florida Ole Miss game that you were going to do it from your home. So now you've got one of those games under your belt. What was that like? How different is it? And do you feel like you can do this about as well?
Well, I hope so. No, I actually have two games, so I ended up actually calling the Texans-Steelers on Sunday, which, again, speaks to the benefit of doing it from home is because there was no travel. They just said, hey, I need you to call Texans-Steelers. So I did that one as well. It's kind of funny just how flexible you can be. It certainly wasn't ideal, and there were times, where the camera cut away and you missed it. But I think just kind of having a good attitude about it and approaching it, and it was fun. It really was fun calling a game from the house. And the hardest thing about it probably was just that I didn't have my partner right next to me. And so there was a few times where we both talked at the same time because, body language-wise, we didn't have those nonverbal cues of kind of when the other one was almost done. But I think we got better at that. So I do think it's doable. Hey, if you're out there, listen to our broadcast this week. We're calling Florida, South Carolina, and see if you can tell. See if you can tell the difference and see if we're struggling. So overall, I thought it went much better than I expected, and I think it's going to be a fun year.
And Barrett, the entire Florida Gator network, Mick Huber and crew, they were all back in Gainesville, didn't have a single person there, not a sideline reporter, not an analyst, not an engineer, not a play-by-play guy, not a anything. One more game from last week.
Were they just calling it off the actual TV feed? Do you know, or do they have the direct feed? I wonder. Yeah.
No, they were calling it off because I saw the picture of them on Twitter set up in Gainesville, and they had a great setup. It was a lot of TVs and a lot of ways to catch the action, but it was all from back in Gainesville off the TV.
Well,
Jeremy.
Sorry, I was going to say that one good thing is that here I go stepping on you, Brett. I apologize.
That's okay.
We thankfully we had kind of the direct truck feed, so we had different camera angles. We had the all 22 on one screen, and so that made it easier for us. I can imagine if they were just calling it straight from the broadcast, that would even be more challenging. So it's interesting just with technology though how much we're capable of.
Yeah, my bet
is Jeremy Pruitt well, Barrett, and you know that he was going to make Tennessee tough and he was going to make them more athletic. And I think that's how they won Saturday at South Carolina. I think they were a little tougher and a smidge more athletic.
No, I think you're right. Look, I think that I've said it lots of times. Like I think that Tennessee is not going to be elite. With Jarrett Garantano at quarterback, like that showed up a few times. I thought the O-line looked rusty. It looked like they had missed a scrimmage in 2 weeks of practice. Like they had to because of COVID. But overall, I think the talent is getting better and better. So there's some encouraging signs. That's a game that maybe last year or 2 years ago they would have lost, and so it was good. It was good to see him win a game like that if you're a Tennessee fan. I think they got to still play a lot better. Again, there's just not time this year to get acclimated or accustomed because every week you have somebody who can beat you, and now Missouri comes to town and that's going to be a tough game. Like, I don't think Missouri is quite as bad as everyone thinks they are after watching the game against Alabama. So every week it's a tough game on your schedule. Again, I'm sure that they want if it's a regular season and you have maybe 4 cup games to start out, I just wonder, does Jeremy Pruitt start the freshman kid and just say, we're going to, figure it out with him. And hopefully by 4 games, he'll get adjusted and be able to play. And again, I don't really have any insider information about what kind of camp he had or anything. But I think given the circumstances, that gave Garantano a huge leg up to be able to have that experience and go in there. And again, I think he's a little limited as far as how far he's going to take Tennessee.
The only problem with that theory is that he's going to have to lose a couple of times first, right? I mean, they've won. What did they do? Win 6 times in a row to end last year, and then they go on the road and win at South Carolina. And he may not have been brilliant, but he's won. And he's been
longest winning streak in the league.
A part of turning that thing around. There are 3 really good games for sure on the docket this week. Ole Miss has to go to Kentucky, and Kentucky is smarting. Auburn, which beat Kentucky, has to go to Georgia, and that'll be an interesting game for sure. and that may be the biggest game on the docket. And then Alabama and A&M is going to be a terrific game too. Obviously, Alabama's the big favorite in this game, but who knows with A&M?
Yeah, I think you're right. Those are fantastic games. I mean, you nailed it. The one that I'm most excited about, probably by far in that list, is going to be that Auburn-Georgia game. That's going to be a fantastic game for me, and we're going to kind of get to see who's for real. And of those two teams, I think that we know some things, but we really didn't learn everything we need to know about those two teams in week one. I thought Auburn looked pretty good at times against Kentucky, but also had some sloppy moments. And then same with Georgia. Obviously, in the second half, we saw the talent there. We know they have a lot of talent on defense, but can they figure out a way to score points? So that's going to be must-see TV, in my opinion. I thought that an A&M Alabama game would be a good game until I saw some of A&M against Vanderbilt. And look, I know I can't read too much into 1 week. I just said it, but that was ugly. And you get the sense that with all the opt-outs, it was the guys they were not. I'm not going to say they weren't playing hard, but they certainly weren't playing smart, and it was just very sloppy from A&M in that game. They clearly had superior talent to Vandy and pretty much every position group, but they did not look like a dominant football team. So they're going to have to make some giant strides if they want to keep up with Alabama or even make that a competitive game.
Barrett, I thought the Vanderbilt quarterback looked better than Kellen Mond Saturday night, and in the end, Vanderbilt just found a way to not complete the victory.
Well, I think Kellen Mond. First of all, let's give him a little bit of benefit. He had a lot of receivers opt out and new targets, but he's a guy that, like, for the last 3 years, I've just kind of been waiting for him to take the next step, and you kind of just think, okay, this is the year Kellen Mond breaks out, and he really shows the world who he is, and he gets it, and it clicks with him, and he's an elite quarterback. And it hasn't happened yet. We thought it might happen last year. It didn't happen. He really was kind of the same guy. And I'll just say through one game this year, it certainly hadn't clicked yet. So maybe it will. Maybe it still will. But I just think we all see the talent. We know it's there. We just keep waiting for it to kind of like explode, and it hasn't exploded yet. It hasn't really clicked for him, and he has never taken that next step. And I don't know why that is. I don't have a good reason for that. I just know what I see. And so, again, one game, let's not judge it on that. But he's going to have to be much, much better this season if A&M wants to compete in the SEC.
Since it's crazy stuff, LSU, fresh off the, lack of any defense at all or making adjustments to the air raid, they got to play at Vandy. We're just bragging on their quarterback, and that was a much better Vanderbilt team than most of us expected. I mean, could there be 2 losses in a row for the defending champions?
I don't expect it. I expect them to bounce back. I mean, look, Vanderbilt did play better, I think, than we expected, but I still think that talent-wise, they're a long way from LSU. So I think that Les Miles will have his guys' attention, and they will come in locked and ready to roll. I mean, the thing you have to tell yourself and with this schedule is that even though week 1 was not good for LSU, nobody's out of it. I mean, I don't care how bad your loss was. Like, LSU runs the table, or maybe even goes 8-2. Like, they still have a legitimate chance for the playoffs. Like, I think there's going to be some serious carnage this year, and there's going to be some records that look funny when you look at them. We're kind of mentally used to seeing just almost like an auto 3 or 4 wins in our head. So even like a bad team in the SEC is like 5-7 or 4-8. And I just those wins are not out there this year. So we're going to see some 1-9 teams. We're going to see some some 2-8s out there, and then on the top end we might see a lot of 8-2s. Instead of 10-0s or 9-1, just because it is such a tough schedule. So who knows what's going to happen? I think LSU, Les Miles will do a great job motivating those guys, telling them that everything's still in front of them, which is true. That anyone, in my opinion, who goes 9-1 in the SEC will have, I think, I almost would say will be a shoo-in in the playoffs. Obviously, I don't know what will happen with the other conferences, but I still think they'll have a great chance if any team goes 9-1. So they're still very much in it, and I expect them to show up and play well.
All right, my friend. As always, we truly appreciate your stop by. Have you got an NBA thing, NFL thing as well today, this weekend?
I don't think so. I think I'm just college probably mostly, but then I'm just kind of a sub in whenever they need me, and that's the good thing is it can be last minute, and I can jump on and do a little prep and get on there, and at least seem like I know what I'm talking about.
It is terrific.
Yes, sir.
It really is. That is outstanding. Well, continued good luck for you. Enjoy the South Carolina game this week, and we will chat with you again next Wednesday.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That is Barrett Jones. Our title sponsor for this hour of the program is Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, and Genesis of Olive Branch, where you're always going to get great service with a crew that has been together for about 13 years. They understand their product. They understand how to sell it to you, how it's being financed, how to take care of you. Their certified pre-owned program is considered by Auto Trader the best non-luxury certified pre-owned program in America. You get powertrain warranties on that, but every new car in the 2021 models, Genesis and Hyundai, all starting to arrive in every one of those new cars. Could be a Santa Fe. It could be a Genesis G70. They all give you limited lifetime powertrain warranties on every new vehicle, and you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package on every one of them. It is just outstanding, and that technology is so durable, but yet so ingrained with safety. I'm telling you, I have a brand new 2021 Sonata, and if I push a button, there's no way I can go into another car. It will stop me from doing it. And you know that Hyundai was tied for the most number of top safety pick vehicles in 2020, and the 21s are even better. So go see my friends. Get on Lamar. It's Highway 78 when you get to State Line Row. When you get to the very first exit, that's Craft Road, and turn left. Ask for Chris Drew. He's the GM, but you can ask for anybody. They take care of you at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. We take the timeout. When we come back, we will shift gears in this crazy world where we have such busy sports like 8 Major League playoff games today and the NBA Championship Series beginning this Saturday. It's the Preakness and Dick Girardi from Philly. He's going to fill us in on what to expect. He comes your way next on Sportstime.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
I'm here with outstanding team from Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. They're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Gary, tell everyone how they can experience the Lexus of Memphis satisfaction.
Come in and be a part of our family at Lexus of Memphis. Experience the customer service that we provide to each guest like a member of our own family. If you're on the side of the road and you need us, we're there. If you need help with anything with your car, technology, Bluetooth, the app suite, we have a dedicated team to help you with this in your journey with your Lexus.
That's how they do it at Lexus of Memphis.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
All 75 months at 2.99 APR, G4, LHFO 7472, Outlander, LU02 9957, Eclipse, LZO 15617. Includes all rebates and incentives, PF 59875, excludes tax, title, and license. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details.
Gossett's Mitsubishi Madness is in full swing at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike, and you'll find deals to get this party started. 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage G4 gets 41 MPG Highway. We Gossett at $139 a month or buy for $12,435. 2020 Mitsubishi Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, built to handle any adventure at $229 a month or buy for $18,573. And take the 2020 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross for a spin at $19,107 or $229 a month. Get confidence today, tomorrow, and long into the future with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Mirage G4, $139 a month. Outlander Sport, $229 a month. And Eclipse Cross, $229 a month. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Lotion and Brett Norsworthy.
My world was strapped against my back. I held my hands, never knew how to act.
Welcome back in, halfway through our Wednesday edition on this gorgeous fall afternoon. Who in the heck would have believed we'd be talking Major League Baseball playoffs right now, or NBA championship series beginning right now, or that we'd have the third leg of the Triple Crown, not Belmont, but the Preakness. That's the crazy world we live in. Dick Girardi from Philadelphia joins us now, who's handicapped both the Derby and the Belmont. Of course, it started with the Belmont in this wacky year. 'Tis the Law, we thought was a shoe-in to win the Triple Crown. Well, he got knocked off at the Derby, the second leg, after he won the Belmont. And now he's not even racing in this third leg, which is the Preakness in this crazy year. Dick Girardi, what happened at 'Tis the Law?
I thought he ran well in the Derby, just wasn't good enough to beat Authentic, who ran the race of his life. And then they opted to pass the Preakness weight for the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland in Lexington early November. But, yeah, this is a really good race, the Preakness, but definitely would have been better if 'Tis the Law was in it.
Dick Girardi, longtime Philadelphia Inquirer columnist, longtime horse racing aficionado, brought to you in part by betonline.ag. And Dick, he very well could be Super Horse, but we know the only way you go down in history as Super Horse is winning all three of them.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I know they were really, really disappointed with what happened in Kentucky. And look, I thought 'Tis the Law ran about as good as he usually does. Maybe not as good as he did in the Travers when he was so overwhelming. I know we talked about that a month ago. But Authentic got out there, and he's trained by Bob Baffert, and the man's won the Derby 6 times. And they just happened to run into a one horse out of the whole group that was a little better on that particular day. But, yeah, it would have been so much more fun, obviously, on Saturday had 'Tis the Law been going for the backward Triple Crown in this bizarre year with the Preakness at the end. But I think what they thought was he wasn't quite as sharp in Kentucky as he had been in New York. This is the first time all year he'd raced with 4 weeks in between races instead of 8. So they're going to give him 8, get ready for the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland and try to win Horse of the Year.
So 'Tis the Law will run in the Breeders. I was thinking that maybe because of the value of when you become a breeder, that they did not want to risk that this horse wasn't as good as everybody had thought. But this is all about the rest. So had this been a normal year, had he won the Derby, say, to begin with and lost the Preakness, he probably would not have run in the Belmont.
It's possible. Yeah, no, that's a very legitimate thought, because typically they don't run in all 3 unless they have to. And when you have to is obviously when you're going for the Triple Crown. But obviously this year, if he had won the Derby, 'Tis the Law, they wouldn't be passing the Preakness. They'd be going for the Triple Crown.
Is Authentic?
Yeah, he is. I mean, you look at his race record, and I think maybe we overlooked him a little bit when we talked a month ago, and we shouldn't have. He's only lost once. He's 5 for 6, and that race was when he had a really bad start at Santa Anita, and he finished second. And maybe as important as who the horse is and what he's done is obviously who his trainer is. Baffert's now won the Derby 6 times. His first 5 Derby winners all won the Preakness. He's won the Preakness 7 times. He's gone for a record 8. So, I mean, look, he's the biggest name in the sport. He's got the favorite. And he's a guy whose horses rarely disappoint. When they figure to run well, they run well.
Dick, for recorded history's sake, to the victor go the spoils. Which one's really the better horse? Will the winner of the race decide that, if it's authentic or if it's 'tis the law? Or is one really better than the other one, whether they win or not?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think we don't yet know the answer. And it's unfortunate we're not having a second go-round here, because the Authentic member did not run at the Belmont Stakes. He stayed out in California. So, yeah, it would be nice to have a rematch. But, maybe we'll have that rematch in the Breeders' Cup and
Right.
the Classic in a month. But, that race is not only going to include 'tis the law and Authentic, it'll also include horses like Maximum Security and some of the best older horses in the country. It's not limited to 3-year-olds like these Triple Crown races. So that will be the race of the year, and whoever wins it, assuming it's a horse with a profile, will be the horse of the year for 2020.
Do you think Authentic, if he were to lose this race, would still be involved in the Breeders' Cup?
Yeah, that's also a great question, because Baffert's already got 2 really live horses in there, including Maximum Security, who everybody knows about from last year's Triple Crown. So, yeah, it's interesting, because he may not. It would depend on, obviously, how he runs. If he runs like a gallant second, but Baffert may not want to run him 3 times in 8 weeks, and may not want to run him against a couple of his other horses who are older and more experienced. So that's Improbable is the other horse who won the big race at Santa Anita last weekend. The Awesome Again actually beat Maximum Security. So, Baffert is loaded not just with good 3-year-olds, but also with older horses, too.
Well, I guess we'll have to see how he does in this particular race.
Right.
I suspect if he wins it, he'll be in there. But, Bob Baffert's got another horse in this one that's ranked among the favorites. 1,000 Words is a 6-1 shot. There's another horse called Swiss Skydiver who's 6-1. I think Art Collector is a horse that some people think can give Authentic a run for the money. Who do you like in this race? How have you handicapped it?
Yeah, no, I think you got the right horses. Art Collector would have been the second choice in the Derby. Remember, he had a very slight injury the day before they were going to take entries for the Derby, and they did end up not entering him. But he got over that in a hurry, and he's back running, and he's 4 for 4 in 2020. So he's a legitimate contender. You mentioned 1,000 Words. Remember, that's the other Baffert, as you said. And in addition to that, he was the horse. Remember, right before the Derby, he flipped in the paddock, and they were concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was right. He was going to run in the Derby, so they had to scratch him. But thankfully, nothing happened to him. He was fine. I mean, they couldn't run him because they couldn't take a chance. But when they examined him, when they got him back to the barn, he was fine. So he's been back in training. So he'll run. And you also mentioned Swiss Skydiver. She is a filly running against the Colts, but she's got a tremendous race record. I mean, her last 6 races, she won the Oaks at Gulfstream. She won the Oaks at Santa Anita. She won the Alabama at Saratoga. Great races for 3-year-old fillies. And she actually ran Derby weekend. She was second in the Kentucky Oaks the day before the Derby. So her trainer, Kenny McPeak, is rolling the dice a little bit and saying, you know what? I think my filly's almost as good as the Colts. We'll take a shot, see if we can't win the Preakness.
How crowded will this race be?
Just like the other 2, unfortunately. No fans in Baltimore.
No. I'm talking the number of horses running.
Oh, I'm sorry. 11. Yeah, we got 11 in the race, and I kept going back and forth between Authentic and Art Collector, and really the deal breaker ultimately for me was Baffert. I mean, the guy, it'd be like, all right, you're between 2 football teams. One's coached by Bill Belichick, and the other isn't. Well, you're probably going to take the one, and they're close. Similar here. He's just too good. He wins these races too much. So I like Authentic to win. Art Collector second. I got a long shot for you guys. The Ted Pneumatic. I think his last race was the best of his life. He's getting better. He's going to have to jump up again. And I do think the filly's going to run well. Swiss Skydiver. I like her 4th.
What about New York Traffic? That was a horse that ran earlier. It's in the middle of the pack here, and it's 15-1. It's not getting any kind of play like it did for the Derby.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the Derby, I thought the horse was going to run really well. I know we talked about him a month ago.
Yeah.
He had a perfect position the whole race, and then all of a sudden when it got serious, he just backed out. Now, I found out since he lost a shoe during the race. It's not it's not a deal breaker for horses, but it's a little uncomfortable because they're off balance. You know, they got 3 horseshoes on, one without a horseshoe. So sometimes horses react really negatively. That could have been the issue. And it's not like the horse hadn't run well all year, because he had. Every other race was solid. So yeah, I think he's better than he showed at the Derby. Now, is that going to be good enough to be Authentic in this crowd? Maybe, because in the Haskell at Monmouth Park, he lost Authentic by a nose. So he was close enough then that you're saying, you know, if he can come back, and to your biggest point, he's 15-1. That's the horse you always want to think about.
Just out of curiosity. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Brett.
Dick, one more time. Give your win, place, show, and your fourth horse, and then Dave has another question, and then I'm going to deviate from this because I know your college basketball pedigree, and I want to ask you a hoops question. But win, place, show, and fourth again.
Absolutely. I'll give you the numbers and then the names. The numbers would be 9, 3, 10, 4. So that's Authentic over Art Collector. The 10 Pneumatic is my long shot, and the 4 is Swiss Skydiver, the filly.
All right. I'm just curious, how is the handle affected when you can't go to the track at all? Or I guess, although I think like Southland here is open, are the numbers down, or are we using off-track betting to keep those numbers up? Has the Triple Crown generated the usual interest?
It has not. It was interesting, and you guys are not that far from Oakland Park, and I think we talked about that. They did incredible numbers, especially for the Arkansas Derby Day, which was run when the Kentucky Derby normally would be run. They had a record handle at Oakland Park with no fans. The difference now is that, especially in Kentucky, they got 150,000 people for the Derby. So that is a dramatic handle that they did not get this year. So the Belmont and the Derby handles have been down dramatically. And I would think the same is going to happen for the Preakness, just because of the time of year. And you guys are mentioning it, all the other events that are happening on Saturday. I mean, college football. I mean, we have the NBA Finals starting in September and October. What? So I think it's going to be hard to generate that kind of handle just because of the time of year. If these races were in May, they'd be just like they always were.
Dick, you've covered college basketball forever, a full great career in Philly, a great college basketball town, one of the greats in the country of college basketball towns. All right, we're about a month and a half out. Let's call it 2 months out from the opening of college basketball. They want to start November 25th. So we'll call it 2 months for round math. Here's my compliment to the college basketball world. I think 2 months out, they appear to have their act together in a more unified manner than college football had 2 weeks out.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think the difference is very clear, right? College football, and you guys know this, it's every conference to themselves. There's nobody that's running college football. The NCAA doesn't run it. The conferences run it. In college basketball, it's actually run by the NCAA, for better or for worse. But you got a guy like Dan Gavitt who's in charge of it. He's a smart guy. And it's all under one umbrella, so everybody can kind of speak the same language, where obviously in football, we did not have that, with some conferences starting, others not. Then Big Ten's not playing. Now they are playing. So, yeah, that's the difference. And I will say this, too. They had a little more time. College football had kind of rushed up on them. But the biggest problem is there's just no one person in charge.
No doubt about it. Dick, as always, we truly appreciate you being with us. I guess we'll talk to you right before the Breeders' Cup. We'll see if these stars, Maximum Security and 'Tis the Law, maybe Authentic, all these horses, if they'll be in it, it'll be a lot of fun to watch. Just to go over it again, our friend, former writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer for many, many years, Dick Girardi, likes Authentic to win it all. Art Collector second, Pneumatic third. If you're looking for a fourth for any kind of boxes, Swiss Skydiver, the 4-horse, is the one. Hey, thank you, my friend. Enjoy the race on Saturday.
You got it. Always great to talk to you guys.
That is Dick Girardi. He is brought to you in part by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and, of course, those famous tune-ups. The Super Tune-Up, 16-point energy saver Super Tune-Up for your air conditioning system or your heating system. And when's the last time you were tuned up? What does that heater look like? Is it safe? That's the real bonus that you're getting from John Conway right now. He will check your total heating system for only $69. He'll do that tune-up that I'm talking about, then go outside and clean out all the dirt and the leaves and the grime in that outside unit. And then he's going to come back and he's going to include a carbon monoxide test to make sure when you go to sleep in the evening, you got that heater on, you're not worried. You know it's safe because it's been totally checked out. He's throwing that in. All of that is for $69. All you got to do is make the call, 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. White Sox trying to come back. They've just hit a two-spot, 5-2. That game, I believe, is in the 8th inning.
Yeah, and Cardinals played at 4 in the top of the first, gave the left-hander Kim 4 runs. He goes out and let the Padres get 1 back, but they lead 4-1. The Cardinals this year 23-1 when scoring 5 or more, and all time against the Padres in the postseason. They faced them 3 times, and they defeated the Padres 3 times. The Yankees going into last night, they got their 407th all-time postseason win last night. They're 407 and 256 all-time in the postseason. The Cardinals are second with the most appearances and wins. They are 237 and 133. And today for Yadier Molina, as soon as this game goes official in the 5th, and I think he'll be out there. Well, no, he's already appeared, so it doesn't matter. In postseason appearances, he has played now in 99 games. Now, today will make 100. Today will make 100 games played. That's good for 5th all-time. Listen to this list. It's Yankees,
Right, sure.
and one member of the Red Sox.
Is Yogi Berra one?
No. Postseason games. You're thinking just World Series.
Right, yeah.
Postseason games, Derek Jeter 1 with 157, Jorge Posada 2 with 119, Bernie Williams 3 with 118, and 4 Manny Ramirez at 111, and Yachty today at 100 even.
How many would Yogi Berra or those Yankees teams, how many would they have had if we'd had playoffs and not just World Series?
Well, the flip side of that is, what if they'd have got nicked up in the playoffs and he hadn't had all those World Series appearances?
That's true. We'll never know.
Well, Dave, seriously, all the fun that we have going back and forth about the Cubs and the Red Sox, especially the Red Sox, their all-time postseason, if we'd had expanded playoffs like we have now, they would have not had the 86-year curse of the Bambino. They would have cracked through and caught that wave in October and maybe catch the Yankees weak. And they were always having to go through the Yankees. The Cubs were having to go through a real good division, whether it was the Cardinals or the Steve Carlton Phillies teams, or Roberto Clemente and the Pirates, or Tom Seaver and the Mets.
Yeah.
If they could have just cashed a ticket and gotten in there, caught that wave, gotten hot, it would not have been 108 years. It wouldn't have been.
Well, I think that 69 team, I'm going back in my childhood. That 69 team that had the entire National League All-Star infield. Santo at third, Kessinger at short, Beckert at second, Banks at first. It had Fergie Jenkins. It had Billy Williams. It had a right fielder that nobody remembers named Adolfo Phillips.
Had a good reliever in Phil Regan.
And Phil Regan, the catcher Randy Hundley was a heck of a player.
I don't think that was the team that would have caught the wave though, because I think the Miracle Mets, almost nothing was getting in the way of their trip with destiny. But there were other years that the Cubs were right there that if they could, and the Cardinals too. The Cardinals in '74 when the Cubs beat them on the last day of the year to cost them the playoffs, well, they would have been kind of in a wild card that year. They might have. But we'll never know. It's good for a debate, but a lot of games played now with all these layers of the postseason. And someone at the ESPN scoreboard graphics department, I think they need to update this. They have the final for the Braves. They have the final for the Astros winning 3-1.
Yeah.
And then down below it has like ALWC Game 2, and it says Houston lead series.
Yeah.
No. That's Houston wins series.
Yes.
It's over.
It says Houston leads series 2-0. You're right. It should be Houston wins series 2-0 because these are best of 3. And I was just asked this a little bit ago. The next round, second round, is best of 7, is it not?
No, the next round's 3 out of 5.
Yeah, and then best of 7.
At LCS time, 4 out of 7.
Just so in recap, Atlanta's a winner in 13 today over Cincy, 1-0, and they the Reds at the top of the 13th had runners all over, bases loaded, 1 out, couldn't get a run in. Cubs lose 5-0, so Miami leads that series 1-0. Houston has won. Atlanta leads 1-0. And the White Sox and the A's are about to be evened up at 1-1. They're in the bottom of the 8th, and the A's lead it.
You shorted the Cubbies a run. They didn't get blanked 5-0.
Oh, 5-1.
It was 5-1.
Yeah, 5-1. I doesn't matter. In the end, they only scored 1. The other guys got 5. They're down. Love 1 in Wrigley, and now they got to win 2 in a row. We pause for just a bit. When we come back, we'll make our picks for the NBA Championship Series between the favored Lakers and the upstart youngsters of Eric Spoelstra, those hot Miami Heat. That comes your way in just a minute.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Get ready to fall in love with driving again in your new Kia from Gossett Kia on the Pike. Get everything you want with the 2020 Forte, just $131 a month. Or hit the road in 2020 Soul, $148 a month. And transform your driving experience this fall in the all-new 2021 K5, now $189 a month. All 36-month leases in just $31.49 due at signing. And you'll get peace of mind you can trust with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. It's time to get your Kia on at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $31.49 due at signing. 0 security deposit. Excludes acquisition fee. 10,000 miles per year. 20 cents excess mileage. $6.50 acquisition fee. Forte LE 2249.63. Sold L7120906 K5MG 0031199. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 598.75. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Not all customers will qualify.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire-roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
O'Reilly
Ready for an oil change? O'Reilly Auto Parts has everything you need. Our professional parts people can suggest the best products for your car and budget, like 5 quarts of Valvoline conventional motor oil and a MicroGuard filter, everyday low price, just $26.99. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Auto Parts.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Make it rain, heard about bitty, bling, bling. Every time I buy a new ride, bling, bling. Lorenzo's on your car, I'm a fast, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Make it rain, heard about bitty, bling, bling.
Cruising through our Wednesday, and we've got the NBA championships beginning in the midst of all this baseball. Fun day, that is for sure. And tonight, the culmination of a couple of months down in the bubble in Orlando. The NHL did, I thought, a marvelous job in the 2 Canadian cities that they were in. And you heard TJ Reeves say a little bit earlier, in all that time, there was not one positive case of COVID. Of course, the numbers in Canada are much better than they are in the United States. But after some incidents early in the bubble, they carried on, and there really hasn't been a whole lot of any kind of cancellations or any kind of problems other than the couple of games off for a few days after the social unrest. And so now they're all back, and finally the series and the NBA will have this culmination with the established champs, or I should say, one of the established names of the NBA. That would be the Los Angeles Lakers, and the star of the era, LeBron James, looking to win his 4th championship against a team, and neither of them made the playoffs a year ago, but against a team that no one would have expected to be here, and that is the Miami Heat, where they had 2 rookies really come on. One's been unbelievable, a young player in Bam Adebayo, who's now reached, I think, his real groove, and a star in Jimmy Butler. And they are a team that I think operates on a lot of different levels. So, Brett, I know we're about to make our picks. I think Drew's going to be involved in this pick too. I've been toying with it. I told you earlier, I confessed to you, and I don't like to say this because sometimes you don't want, if you're trying to be objective about things, you don't want to let your heart get in the way of your head. And in the case of the Lakers, I don't want LeBron to win another title because I want to make sure that Michael Jordan, as a fan, that Michael Jordan remains the greatest at least that I ever saw really play the game. You could make the case for the Celtics, their 11 championships, and Bill Russell and that crew. But I think when it all is said and done in the modern era, whatever you want to call this, Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time, and I don't want anything taken away from that. All that being said, if I try to be objective, I really do think that Miami has a chance if they play the way they did, especially if Adebayo and Hero play the way they have. I know Jimmy Butler will. And I am a huge Jay Crowder fan. I loved him at Marquette. I loved him when the Grizzlies had him here. I think he brings an intensity and a leadership and never gets rattled. He missed so many threes, and he kept still trying to do things on defense or go to the hole. He never gets rattled. I think he's critical to this. I think that Miami is going to pull off an upset here. I think that Miami will win this in 6.
You take Miami, so Carl takes, of course, his Lakers. Right. Carl has already won the picks. He's got 12 points. Dave, you have 10. I have 10. Drew has 9. Carl can lose and we can win, and he still wins, even if you have Miami correct. Drew?
I like what Dave said. He made a lot of great points, but when you got LeBron, you have AD, and they're clicking, and everybody that they have to accompany them for the Lakers. I want Miami to play well. I want it to be a great series. I think it'll be a good one, but Lakers in 6.
I don't care who wins. I want it to go 7. I don't care about LeBron bumping into the Michael Jordan real or perceived legacy. I don't care about any of that. I think it is a pretty evenly matched series, and I go back to it feels like the Detroit series way back when against the Lakers with Billups and Rip. I'm going to take Miami as well. Miami wins it in 7 because Game 7 doesn't matter because it'll be in the bubble. It won't be in Staples.
Exactly. I hope it does go 7. I really do. Because that way we know we get another week of really good basketball to watch, and that has been a lot of fun. That's 2 hours in the books. When we return, we will talk college football. We'll talk Tiger football with SMU. The voice of the SMU Mustangs is Rich Phillips. And we'll talk about that Saturday matchup at 2:30 in Dallas. That's coming your way in a minute. I'll let you know. This portion of the show is brought to you by the Eflin Insurance Company. And Matt Eflin and his team can help you in a lot of different ways. In particular, if you are in need of any kind of home or auto insurance program, they've got 10 different companies. They find the right fit for you for your needs, for protection, but also for your budget. And if you're looking for commercial insurance, they do both. His guys, his gals, they're ready with virtually unlimited access to programs to protect either small or mid-sized businesses. And I don't want you to forget about life insurance because Eflin's got you covered there as well. With quotes from 15 well-respected companies, you will get the right deal for you. Grant, Andrew, and Heath, they're standing by to give you a quote right now. All you got to do is call 901-386-GER. That's 901-386-4777. That's the Eflin Insurance Group. They can help you a lot of ways. They're proud supporters of the Tigers. That's the Eflin Insurance Group. Back in a minute with our number 3 on Sports Time.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage. Factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
The day has come for huge savings at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat with Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days going strong on Covington Pike. Get 0% APR plus no payments for 90 days. New 2020 Jeep Cherokee Latitude IIHS Top Safety Pick, $21,740 or $275 a month. 2020 Dodge Challenger, a muscle car with best-in-class cargo volume, $24,690 or $318 a month. 2020 Dodge Charger, America's fastest four-door muscle car, $24,990 or $329 a month. And 2020 Ram 1500 Tradesman Quad Cab, $366 a month. Drive past the rest. Come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat, 1901 Covington Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 3.99 APR, 3,500 down. Must finance through Chrysler, Cherokee, LD 561583, Challenger, LH 214,740, Charger, LH 116,732, 1500, LS 139,171. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, WPGFLP Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Tigers and the Ponies Saturday at Gerald Ford Stadium. The voice of the SMU Mustangs, Rich Phillips, will join us. And on Saturday, if you want to have fun with the games, you can do it with FanDuel. There are more ways to win than ever before on the FanDuel Fantasy app. From daily fantasy to new season-long contests, you can play for free or join paid games to compete for real cash prizes. Right now, FanDuel giving new players 20% on their first deposit, up to $500 in bonus credit added instantly into your new account. Use your bonus to try partial season best ball. That's FanDuel's newest way to play fantasy football. Best ball contests are the simplest way to play season-long fantasy. There's no lineups to set, no waivers to claim, no trades to make. Just draft your team, and FanDuel will do the rest. Enter by October 1 to get in before this round of best ball ends. Your old favorites are still available as well, including Gridiron Pick'em. Just pick the winners of Sunday's NFL matchups correctly for your chance to earn up to $5,000 every week, absolutely free. And when you win, FanDuel pays out your winnings in as little as 24 hours. If you hadn't tried FanDuel yet, what are you waiting for? Simply download the FanDuel Fantasy app today to get started and claim your deposit bonus of up to $500. Age and location-based restrictions always apply. See the terms at FanDuel.com. This hour brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales down on Goodman Road. Check out their website, DeSotoAutoSales.com, or go down to 5704 Goodman Road. All the cars checked out head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you at DeSoto Auto Sales. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. You're treated like family, laid back atmosphere, down home environment, and they want you to have the ultimate car experience. Within 45 minutes, test drive your car, get credit approved, paperwork completed, and you're gone in 45 minutes in your new car. We're living in a world today that time matters, and they keep it simple for you at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
It has been a busy day today. All kinds of baseball all over the place. First time ever, 8 Major League Baseball playoff games taking place this afternoon, many already in the books. We've got the NBA championships tonight, and we get set in Memphis for the Tigers to actually play their second football game. It will be almost a month since they played. They went a period of 11 days without any practices at all because of COVID positive tests and because of contact tracing. In the meantime, SMU has played 3 football games, and they are 3-0. They've scored a lot of points, almost 49 points a game. They had one game that was a tough one against Texas State, and the former Tiger Brady McBride in that game. They were able to pull that out, and then they have done a really good job. They had their way quite easily with the North Texas and with Stephen F. Austin, a team the Tigers are going to play now in the middle of November. The voice of the Mustangs for a long time is Rich Phillips. He joins us now. So 3-0 and a lot of points against some competition that you got to wonder about. How good are the Mustangs? How good was that competition, Rich? Good afternoon.
Hey, Wallo, how are you?
Great.
Yeah, we'll certainly find out a lot more Saturday, I think. Obviously, they haven't faced a team. You ran down the list there. They haven't faced a team that should have the talent that Memphis has. Texas State definitely improved from where they were a year ago, and I think, that when I think 31-24 was the final, and some of that I think was still everybody trying to adjust to what the new normal is. SMU don't have a bench on the sideline. They have chairs, and they're all assigned. They have numbers on them so that they're socially distanced on the sideline. And you come over to the sideline, and all your coaches and your staff have masks on. I think everybody was kind of adjusting. Nobody was at the game, and there was a small crowd, maybe 2,000 people were at the game. I felt like they were a little unsettled in that game. They have been unsettled the last couple of weeks. Had a game postponed by TCU when they had some COVID issues, but as you mentioned, went to North Texas, scored 65 in that game, did what they should have done to Stephen F. Austin. So it'll be not interesting to see a different level of competition like we should on Saturday afternoon.
Rich, when I watched a lot of if not all of the Texas State game and a smidge or two of the North Texas game, I did not watch any of the Stephen F. Austin game, but both last year, all season long, and this year, it's obvious. You can look at that SMU squad and see just the cut of player is at a much higher level than even in the Chad Morris years.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. Sonny Dykes has done a tremendous job recruiting in this program. He's especially that offense. They lost their two senior running backs from a year ago, but T.J. McDaniel has had a couple of 100-yard games. He's a sophomore. And then Ulysses Bentley, a redshirt freshman, he had a 227-yard game at North Texas, and he currently leads the nation in rushing yards and in rushing touchdowns. The wide receivers, unbelievable talent with Reggie Robertson. They got a JUCO transfer in Danny Gray, who is lights out when it comes to speed. And they've got a veteran offensive line. 4 of the 5 starters are back from last year, and they are starting to actually – this is no joke, 20 years I've been doing these games. This is the first time that I've ever thought, the offensive line could be a strength of the offense. It's never been that way before. He's done a tremendous job of finding some talent and finding it in various ways through the transfer market, and now also bringing in some good high schoolers.
You mentioned they're starting a different, I think it's left guard, a freshman who transferred, I believe, from Texas. So they're only getting better. It's
at right guard where they've got the new
guard
starter that came in, and he's a Texas guy, but transferred from Auburn, actually. It's Justin Osborne, who, he started the North Texas game. He actually didn't get here until middle of August, too, when his transfer paperwork was completed. But, Texas Cutie's been starting there at right guard, and that's the only new starter they have among the 5 up front.
Yeah, so that is amazing. I was looking at this. I did not realize you guys were 10-3 last year. That is the best record that the Mustangs have had since 1984. That's incredible to me. And
you probably worked here in Dallas back then, didn't you?
That was the year. That was the year before I got there.
That was Reggie Dupard.
Yeah.
It'd been a while, no doubt.
That was a great running back. 2 of them pretty familiar names, in Dickerson and James. But Dupard was good, and in that stretch, Rich, I will go down forever saying, you give me one wishbone quarterback. I know a lot of people take Tommy Frazier, a lot of people take a Surface Academy quarterback. You give me the was it Lance McElhaney, the quarterback during the Dickerson James years? That guy, man, when he got it on the edge, he always made the right decision. He was better than some of those OU wishbone guys.
His decision making was so good. His running ability was really good too when he decided to keep it. So I was a wee little lad at the time, but that was when I really started paying attention to football. Was in those Pony Express days, and they were certainly a lot of fun to watch.
They were outstanding. I when I look back to Memphis, and you and I've been around long enough when Memphis was awful during those Larry Porter years, and there's no question that the guy that turned around the culture was Justin Fuente, and then it was a knockout hire with Mike Norvell. Is Chad Morris the guy that is the one that really turned around this program that now Sonny Dykes is going to feast on?
A little bit, I would say, yeah. I mean, to be fair, you go back 12 years, I think June Jones did a pretty nice job, too, when he came in.
I like June Jones, yeah.
Took over just what had been a moribund program and really tore it down his first year, and then the next 4 years they went to bowl games and won 3 of those 4. It didn't end really well here, and when Chad came in, 2014, I believe, when he came on board, definitely maybe 2015, the talent level was definitely depleted by the time he got here. He helped turn that around with a number of players, but there are still some of those guys that are definitely contributors. A lot of these offensive linemen are guys that were contributors that came from or were here during Chad's time. But definitely Sonny has done a different kind of turnaround here, just getting different athletes to really consider SMU, a different type of athlete to consider SMU that hadn't done it in decades and decades.
Rich, I love that university. I love that campus in Highland Park, that neighborhood. Everything's great about it. But for some time, not a criticism, but you can see the full embracing that SMU is now trying to do with the branding of Dallas. Sometimes SMU, even in the city of Dallas, could be out there on an island. Now it's the full integration of them as part of the city and part of the community, and I think that was smart branding.
Very much so. And, they really helped cement that even more last year with what they call their Dallas uniforms, where it's got Dallas in script on the chest, and they've got the city of Dallas has a triple D logo that they have put on the side of their helmet and put the Mustang inside of that. And it's really helped them kind of embrace the city, and the city embrace the team. Now, getting off to an 8-0 start last year certainly helped, too, and having a real exciting team to watch, that definitely helped. But that's where this COVID thing sucks in another way for this SMU program because of the momentum of 10-3 last year. They were on pace back in the spring to have a record number of season tickets sold, the most ever in the 20-year history of Ford Stadium, and obviously that's gone by the wayside. We did declare last week a sellout, by the way, because they sold all the tickets they were allowed to sell, which was only about 8,000, unfortunately. But they've done a really nice job here in the last couple of years of getting the city to embrace the team a lot more.
Is that what will be there on Saturday, 8,000?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right around 8,000, and actually I was told this week that it's all-season tickets now. They sold everything on a season basis for the remainder of the year. So I guess that's a good thing.
You've seen a lot of great quarterbacks. Where would you put Shane Buechele?
He is right now. I put him neck and neck with Garrett Gilbert, who was here under June Jones in 2012, 2013. And by the way, another grad transfer from the University of Texas too, and another guy who has a grad transfer, had a couple of years to play. He played 2 seasons here. Garrett pretty much holds most of the passing records that are now falling to Shane. He's not quite the same physically. Garrett was about 6'4". Shane is maybe 6'2". Not even sure if he's quite that tall, but man, he can make all the throws. His arm is way better than I thought it was from watching him from afar when he was at Texas. He definitely. He's got a chance to go down as possibly the best quarterback we've had here ever, I think. He's certainly going to be in line for a lot of the records. He already set the single-season yardage and touchdown records last year.
And, Rich, that area, that state, it produces them. I know California probably would argue, and it may win the argument, but what of it? Texas has really cashed in on the 7-on-7 quarterback, robot, laboratory phenomenon.
No doubt. No doubt. They definitely have a lot of not just quarterbacks either, a lot of the skill players too. You're finding so many of them, especially that's where SMU is cashing in at wide receiver. Rasheed Rice, whose first start last year was in the Memphis game. He's a Metroplex kid from Richland High School. Reggie Robertson on the other side. He's a Metroplex kid from West Mesquite High School. They brought in Danny Gray here this year, who's a JUCO transfer at receiver from Blinn Junior College. And, again, Texas kid out of Madison High School here in Dallas. They're really finding a lot of great skill players really close to home here. And some of them are guys, too, by the way, that they've had that are transferring to come home, like Robertson did, who originally went to West Virginia and decided he wanted to come home. And that's kind of helped him to get a lot of guys that have gone somewhere else where it didn't quite work out, and they decided to come home and play in Dallas.
Refresh my memory. Where was Prochet from?
DeSoto High School, so right south side of Dallas.
So,
yes.
There's another kid. I mean,
absolutely.
Wow, he was outstanding. Are there expectations now on the SMU football program? I mean, I go back like you just mentioned. We saw 84, and then 85. I was there, and that was, James and Dickerson, and what an unbelievable grouping that was. And then, of course, the penalty, and it almost put everybody away. It seems now you're back. Is there that connection that the basketball team was getting? I know you mentioned it a little bit, but is it a thing to do on Saturday to go see SMU or to be involved with SMU?
It certainly got that way last year by October when they were still undefeated, and the Temple game that they had at home was a phenomenal crowd they had for that one. Tulsa was a terrific crowd too. The tailgating scene was fantastic. Obviously not the same now with the limited numbers, but when you ask are there expectations, I think most certainly there are. You get to 10 wins, and you were at a point last year where you were contending to go for the conference championship game. And then you bring most of the team back, starting with the quarterback. I think definitely there are expectations here. There's no doubt about it, man. Saturday is a big game for this team. It's only the conference opener, but it's a huge one, especially with no divisions now. You're trying to get to that number one spot so you can host the conference championship. And obviously, these are two of the teams that have to be among the, top four, maybe five in the conversation to get to that championship game.
Well, last year was so special. The game day game and the sellout crowd at Memphis, and you were really
great game.
In essence, it was sort of like a playoff to get to the New Year's Day 6. Nothing like that. Not going to be the same crowd or build-up. But these are important games, and that's important for the American to have games that mean a lot.
For sure, Dave.
And so I'm
rising tide lifts every boat in the league.
At it this afternoon. Not one turnover in that game. Everybody held on to the football in that game.
I didn't remember that. That's amazing.
I didn't either. I just looked it up here today to see it. I was like, holy cow, that was a terrific game. That was one that was really special, I think, for both programs, as you mentioned, getting the primetime spotlight there and delivering with a game like that. That was one of the most entertaining games, I think, of the season last year.
Based on what I've seen from you guys so far this year, the 100 points and the 1,000 yards is a possibility again.
Yeah, we just don't know who we're going to be playing against here, is what I hear. A lot of questions about for sure who's going to be there on the Memphis side on Saturday. I know.
I don't think I'll know until we arrive at the stadium myself, to be honest with you.
I bet the play-by-play guy needs some reps too, don't you?
I do. Gosh, I haven't done a game in a month. So you're right. You're absolutely right. Rich, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to be in an opposing stadium. I'm sure it will be weird. Social distancing and everything else, but that is the way it is right now, and we have to get used to it, but at least we got a game, and that's a lot better than it's been for me for the last month.
I totally understand, man. Can't wait to see you on Saturday, Waldo. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rich. We appreciate your time today. That is Rich Phillips. He is the voice of the SMU Mustangs, and I haven't really seen. Would you tell me the line was 4.5 on this game? Memphis was favored?
I haven't seen one. I didn't know it was that big, but it doesn't surprise me if they are, if the Tigers are that big a favorite. And we mentioned, look like the old Big East, and the old Big East basketball, when they came along late 70s, early 80s, they fought it out literally. I mean, clenched fist, the clenched fist stuff, and I mean fought each other hammer and tong. But when they got in business together, they knew we got to have some other ones doing well, and I sense that very much from Mike Oresco about this league, both basketball and football. And Rich pointed to it and referenced it. We need, you need SMU, Central Florida, the Tigers, Cincinnati, and maybe one more dip in there, like Navy ever so often, or Tulane ever so often, or a Temple ever so often, maybe even Houston. I mean, if you got 4 or 5 that you could always count on, but you don't need everybody eliminating each other. You need one to separate themselves, and that's what's going to make it tough until we get to maybe more expanded playoffs or a designated spot for a non-Power 5. But the Tigers are doing their part, and I'm glad to see SMU doing theirs.
Yeah, you think about it. Houston is a team that I think has a lot of potential, much like SMU. I mean, they're sitting in the state of Texas. They got a brand new stadium. They got plenty of money. I'm a little
money, as the texter said earlier.
And if you go back in time, they've got a lot of history. So to me, they're a little disappointing that they're not better on a regular basis than they've been. SMU was broken down. They're on the way up, and it looks like Dykes is the right guy for them if he stays, and I think he's satisfied, at least at the moment. Cincinnati, Memphis, they should continue the road that they're on. And clearly, if we are being honest, the national perception of the team that is the best in the league, the bell cow, at this point is UCF, until Memphis can change that. If they keep this run going and win another championship this year, maybe some of that would change. But everybody loves Heupel, and but we're talking about 5 teams right there that are really good, and I'm not even mentioning SMU in that grouping. The league is actually a better football league than this basketball league at this point.
We know this fall is going to be great. We know already with the weather we got today, but we know it's going to be great, and we know where you can go to really enjoy it. It's All-Star Chevrolet down on Goodman Road at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. You will not find more new Silverados anywhere, and for a lot less, a whole lot less. We just mentioned money. You want to save a lot of money, get to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. If it's a new Chevy you want, Olive Branch is where you want to be. Come drive one of the new Blazers or Tahoes. Talk about a road trip. Perfect to get in one of those, or a new Traverse, or a Camaro. The new Chevy car to drive, it's one of the Impalas that's won all the awards, All-Star. They win on the low prices. We're talking 20-something. You can even get thousands in cash back. Check out the certified pre-owned Chevy deals at All-Star Chevrolet. The lot is full. Tahoes, Malibus, Impalas, Suburbans, and don't forget, it's not Collierville, it's not Mount Moriah, it's not South Haven, it's not the Pike, it's Olive Branch. Everyone at All-Star with one job. Make sure you get the best deal, have more fun, and do it in record time. And everyone at All-Star always says thank you so much to our first responders for all they do for us every day, seen and unseen. Find new roads to craft Goodman Road and Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Cardinals are on top, bottom of the third in San Diego. They lead it 6-2. Blue Jays and Rays, bottom of the sixth. Tampa having their way. They're about to move on to the second round. They lead 8-2. Braves were winners over the Reds today in 13 innings, so they're up 1-0 in that series. Cubs got bombed by the Marlins in Wrigley. They're down 1-0 in that best of 3. White Sox and the A's are now knotted at 1-1. White Sox had a threat in the bottom of the, or I should say top of the ninth, but the A's hold on. They win 5-3. Still to come, Yankees, Indians, Brewers, Dodgers, and, of course, the Lakers and the Heat.
A lot of baseball.
In the NBA. Found a lot of baseball. That is for sure. And we've got NBA hoops championship style coming your way a little bit later.
Dave, will you believe me if I read you a text exchange with our friend Tom Ackerman at KMOX, who's sitting around ready to do post-game on the Cardinals Network? They just went out and checked, had the trainer come out and check on Kim, the left-hander, and I texted Tom earlier. I said, something's wrong with him. He's scratching around and scuffling around too much. I've never seen him this out of rhythm. Well, they just went out and did the injury check and left him in. I guess good to go, but he's leading 6-2, but he has not been sharp.
Huh. Well, let's hope he's okay. Sometimes
no kidding.
Maybe you just have a
if
bad
he's not,
day.
take him out.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, and first time in the playoffs, but no crowd. I can't imagine nerves would. He just whipped one past Tommy fam right then. I can't believe nerves would be getting him.
Oh, and
maybe so.
Yeah, I don't think it's nerves. Some days
I used to get nervous playing golf with Dave. I mean, I know the feeling.
You should. If you would again, you'd be very nervous.
I know, because you can play now.
I would love to have the opportunity to go at you.
The great line from Zeke. The bad thing about Dave now, he's good.
I'm going to say this. I think you and we need to have sort of a reunion golf match at a Lotion. That's
Dave.
what
I
think.
hadn't hit enough shots in the last 13 years to say grace over.
I
hadn't played max 9 holes.
Stats.
When I go out and play,
that literally means nothing to me.
Come on. I tell you what I love to do. You know what I love to do, and I've gotten spoiled doing it. It's play 6.
Play 6. Well, you ought to go play 9. Play 9 at the Ridges of Village Creek.
I can't. I
get tired after 6.
It hurts too bad.
No, we go play.
It hurts too bad.
I'll tell you what. We go play 6 at the Ridges, and then go to your favorite.
My doctor
Mexican
would kill me if he
there.
knew I was playing 1.
Yeah. Well, we won't tell him. By the way, the Houston win over Minnesota today. The Twins own the record for the longest streak of postseason ineptness in the history of any sport. 18 postseason games in a row. You know who's second? I hate to say this. The Blackhawks in the early 70s lost 16 straight.
Is that right?
16 straight playoff games. Yep.
All right, not trying to be a wise guy. Lunch on me. You and Drew. Drew, you're involved in this too. Name the Twins manager.
Rocco, baby. Come on.
Oh, yeah. You parked that one deep over Waveland.
Oh, my goodness. How many times can you ask that and think we won't know it?
How many lunches I got to lose?
You're just going to lose 2. Unfortunately for you, they're at Capitol Grill, but that's okay.
Okay. One of those steak and whiskey lunches.
There you go.
We'll have to carry Dave to the car, won't we, Drew?
That's if you don't have to carry me first.
There you go. This portion of the show brought to you by Supercuts. Supercuts, as you know by now, there's 15 stores in Memphis, and they are all absolutely open. It's a family business. The Czech family takes it very serious. There's nothing more important to them than the health of their customers and, of course, the health of their team. And so all of the Memphis Supercut salons, all of them are open. They've been open for a while now. They have this thing called the Safe Salon Commitment in place. That commitment was developed in partnership with the top infectious disease doctors, and it maximizes safety and sanitization in every one of the 15 Memphis Supercut salons. So they're ready for you when you're ready for that haircut. Be safe. Go read about that thing, and you'll feel better. I promise you. You can learn more about that Safe Salon Commitment, and you can prepare for your first visit or next visit at any Supercuts by going to supercuts.com. We'll pause for just a bit. When we return, we talk the business of the bowls. We talk the business of college football. Our big cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Steve Earhart, comes your way next.
It's R&R on Sports.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from
Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more.
R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
Don't miss us.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up? We're here to help you get it done. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX conventional motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And with our next day delivery and free same-day store pickup, you can get it fast, your way. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Asking ye shall receive. I was way over generous, and you were right, Brett. I said the U of M I thought was 4.5-point favorites. And immediately, boom, boom, a couple of texters in the First Bank text line let me know. One said the line was 2.5, the other said it was 3. So I'm going to, if I have to give away, it's going to be 2.5, right?
All Tigers, of course, because it's going to be a group lock at 2.5.
There you go.
If we all agree, we can manipulate the line to do anything we want it to do.
Yeah. I think we'd have to have a lot more clout than the three of us saying that.
Putting absolutely nothing on it.
Exactly. That is exactly correct. We got good news yesterday, I think. Dr. Bruce Randolph from the Shelby County Health Department said he would start to ease maybe the attendance restrictions, although I didn't hear a number. At the Liberty Bowl for football games. The Tigers, of course, one of those, but the other would be the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, which is still some months away. The big cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl is Steve Earhart. He joins us every Wednesday in this time slot to talk about the business of college football and the bowls. And let's start with that right there. You've been involved in all these meetings with all these guys, so I'm sure you read that story, or maybe we're a part of the conversation with Dr. Randolph regarding this. What kind of restriction ease do you think we are about to get, Mr. Earhart?
Well, I'm sure very, very hopeful. We're going to work to make sure that all the fans attending the AutoZone Liberty Bowl are safe and sound. But the protocols at the stadiums are working well around the country. And, of course, there's always going to be a flare-up or two, with a test here or there, what happened with the Tennessee Titans, but that didn't happen, to the fans in the stadium. So we're very hopeful that as we get, and I say we've still got, 3 months till the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on December 31st. So, we hope by that time that we'll be up in that, what's around the rest of the country in that 20,000 range of attendees. And that's what it looks like some of these SEC teams will be having over the next few weeks. So, yeah, we're very hopeful that they'll be able to increase. And I'm also hopeful that the University of Memphis, they've got that huge game coming up. Isn't it UCF that they play their next home game?
Yes, and, that's on the, I believe it's the 14th, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
And so that's going to be one of the key games in maybe the history of Memphis football, because if Memphis...
Let me correct myself. It's October 17th. So that would be 2 weeks.
2 weeks from Saturday.
2 weeks from Saturday. I'm just curious. Did you hear any number when Dr. Randolph was suggesting that there could be an easing of attendance restrictions? Did you hear any numbers that he was talking about? For instance, 20%, 25% of filling that stadium?
Dave, I just got a replay of that, conference that he had, so I don't know for sure, but I think easing is the key word. And, I think as people are proving that they're wearing masks at the game by and large, and, they've got such good protocols at Liberty Bowl Stadium. They've had people, coming in and being directed only to certain gates and spacing people out and that kind of thing. So, hopefully that it'll be increasing and significantly. So when that UCF game comes, because of course those are the two highest ranked teams in the American Athletic, is Memphis and UCF, and UCF's been in the New Year's Six 2 out of the last 3 years, and Memphis got it last year with the Cotton Bowl experience. So it'll be a big game for both universities, and it'll be a national telecast. So I certainly hope that the Memphians have a chance to attend the game in person.
Yeah, Steve, we all do, and there's just a mountain of data and graphs and information out there right now. We're almost besieged daily with numbers, and they matter, and numbers matter. But what are the health officials telling you, Steve? What's a number or two or three that we really have to see do what for things to be eased and relaxed for both the Tigers and for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl?
Stats, to be very frank, it's so all over the place. I mean, and I'm not being critical or anything, but I think as it's changed over the last several months, at one time they said if we could get the transmission rate down to less than 10%, that would be great. And then they moved the goalpost, and then it was under 5% of transmission rate. And then other people say, well, that doesn't count as much as how many people are in the hospital with that. And so, it's I think you can get experts and scientists and doctors to say something different, but certainly we support the scientific community, and we're going to follow, the best interpretation of the data by the scientists and the doctors. And there's some great doctors here in Memphis. Dr. Threckeld over at Baptist is one of the renowned guys, and so we're going to be following. But hopefully the trend is good. I look at those every day, and you see that in the 5-county area there with all the hospitalizations, the acute care is down in number of beds. The intensive care is down in the number of beds that COVID patients are taking up, and so the transmission rate is down. And so, we're very hopeful that all these different data points will be trending in the right direction.
We sure do. The bowl business as an industry, if you let's say you get lucky and you get 25%, and that's the average. What does that do for your industry?
There's definitely, it's a strain. We're in the hospitality business to a great degree, and as people in the hotel business and the restaurant business know, that's the hardest hit part of the economy. And so, we've but tightened our belt, so to speak, and we've been very, very pleased by the response to all our key sponsors in Memphis, the AutoZone and FedEx and Bass Pro. In addition, we have about 150 local corporate businesses that are very supportive of the 62-year history of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and we're very hopeful that by the time December 31st that we can be a beacon of hope and bringing the community together here in a celebration at the end of the year, and somewhat digging out from what was a very challenging year. So with the that very positive, partnership we have with all the folks here in Memphis, we're going to be able to survive and continue to carry on. But you're right, in the entire bowl world, everybody is trying to figure out what are all the options. We're having meetings with the SEC, the Big 12, and the American Athletic Conference to, redesign some of the formulas and the payouts and that kind of thing, so that we should be in good shape. And certainly the bowls that had Big 10 and Pac-12 and Mountain West teams, they've been breathing a sigh of relief the last week. And I'm really happy to see that now that the prognosticators are back in the business in a big way. I mean, we always print out. I'll give you a little head start on Thursday. We send out the prognosticators that are saying who's going to play in our bowl game, and here I'll give you the four that I look at that are pretty darn smart folks. One is the CBS Sports done by Jerry Palm, who's certainly a recognized expert. He's projecting that Tennessee will play Oklahoma State in our game. College Sports Madness has Kentucky versus Baylor, and because LSU dropped down a little bit, the College Football News has got LSU playing Iowa State in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and then Saturday down south, Jim Tomlin's got Kentucky versus Iowa State. So when we got these guys, promoting that, and people at the various universities are looking and already saying, we hope our team can make an outstanding bowl game. So, we're going to be just fine, and whatever the number is with the participation and the great support locally of our, season ticket holders as well as our sponsors, we're going to be just fine.
Do you think there's any kind of lesson college football learns from this, and maybe even your bowl, where there's money that will be set aside instead of spending like some schools did, 60, 80, what was it, Texas A&M spent $110 million or more dollars on football, that they go, you know what, we're going to take 20% and put it in a rainy day fund. Do you think this will change the way of thinking about college football?
Well, I think it again, I'm certainly not trying to predict what every university will do, but that's absolutely going to happen with any kind of business that's been through this. And whether it was a recession that hit the economy in the mid 2008, 2009, a lot of businesses made different plans, and when you have a time of retrenching, I think there's going to be a lot of that. And the U of M is going through some of that right now. Laird Veach has done a terrific job. He spoke eloquently today to the Kiwanis Club about all the things that he's doing there to make sure that Memphis is strong not only this year but in future years. So I think that there's going to be, again, I don't want to speak on behalf of any university, but I think it's a natural result, whether you're in the business of running a hotel or in the business of running a college athletic department. And there's so many changes going on in the college world now. The name, image, and likeness issue, which kicks in, next year already, and that's going to change a lot the way things work. And that's probably, we need a whole show to talk about that and all the ramifications of the NLI, the legislation, both federally and state, as well as the NCAA. So, and then there's already, I saw today, there's a move to try and restructure the distribution of the NCAA basketball money. So there's a lot of issues on the table.
No doubt. There truly are. As always, my friend, we appreciate it. If you got Tennessee and would you say Oklahoma State, I'd take that game. You'd take that game right now, wouldn't you?
Well, that's what CBS Sports Jerry Palm. He's my new hero right now. So, but we're going to be happy with who's ever in the game, and that's why I want to thank all the folks that are out there supporting the bowl and the mission and getting the patriotic theme out there, as well as the St. Jude theme. That whether it's we're hoping whether it could be an Ole Miss, a Mississippi State, Arkansas, Tennessee, whoever from the SEC, and then from the Big 12. And I know a lot of Ole Miss fans have said, well, we missed out that big matchup that was supposed to happen before the season there, where Ole Miss was going to play Baylor, and we haven't had Baylor in the game for some 30 years. And so, whatever matchup comes together, we're going to be celebrating and saying that we scoring a touchdown.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
You got it. That's Steve Earhart from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. He's brought to you in part by Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. And they've cleared away space, and hopefully we'll start to work on it soon, the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame, where we had that first class in, the pandemic kind of hit, but that is who's behind it, the Memphis Tourism and Sports Council. when you talk about things like the FedEx St. Jude World Golf Championships or the Southern Heritage Classic or that new St. Jude Ironman, which unfortunately did not take place this year but will next year. Memphis Tourism and Memphis Sports Council, what a winning combination, working year-round to bring visitors and sporting events to our community and to help fan the flames of economic development in Memphis and Shelby County. And hopefully next year we're back full strength. We thank guys like Kevin Kane, Melvin Gibson, J.J. Greer for their support of these programs. And they, in part, bring you Steve Earhart every week. Back in a minute, it'll be crunch time here on Sports Time on Sports 56.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Frontier Western Store is open and ready to serve you for all your needs in boots, apparel, pet food, and more. Frontier is proud to be a local leader here in the Mid-South when it comes to boots. Stop by the store today for an incredible selection of name brand work and dress boots. Come browse aisles and aisles of top quality boots at everyday low prices in our world famous boot showroom. Dan Post, Rocky, Durango, Twisted X, Georgia, Ariat, and many more. There are so many styles, colors, and fits available, you might need a hand picking out your favorites. Luckily, Frontier's knowledgeable sales staff will cheerfully assist you with any questions you have and ensure the proper fit of your new boots. Frontier also has an amazing selection of jeans and shirts by Wrangler, Ariat, and Carhartt, as well as a fully stocked women's boutique department with thousands of tops and dresses at unbelievable prices. New arrivals often. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Gilman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Golfers, are you looking to play like a pro without traveling the world? Just come to Golf and Games Family Park, 5484 Summer Avenue. Golf and Games has the Top Tracer range system. Top Tracer gathers all your golfing data, distance, carry, ball speed, and more. Or choose a virtual course like Pebble Beach, St. Andrews, and Spyglass. Bring your friends and family to transform and enhance the range experience for golfers and non-golfers alike. Plus, it's fun. Top Tracer range at Golf and Games, 5484 Summer Avenue. Play like a pro.
Get ready to fall in love with driving again in your new Kia from Gossett Kia on the Pike. Get everything you want with the 2020 Forte, just $131 a month. Or hit the road in 2020 Soul, $148 a month. And transform your driving experience this fall in the all-new 2021 K5, now $189 a month. All 36-month leases in just $31.49 due at signing. And you'll get peace of mind you can trust with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. It's time to get your Kia on at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $31.49 due at signing, 0 security deposit, excludes acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte LE 2249.63, Soul L7120906, K5MG 0031199. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 598.75. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Not all customers will qualify.
Good news. Southland Casino is now back open. That's right. The most spacious casino floor in the Mid-South is ready to welcome you back to the action with live blackjack, roulette, craps, and all your favorite slots. The action kicks off every day at 9 a.m. and rolls all the way till 5 o'clock the next morning. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and make the short drive to Southland. We're ready for you. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, then we hit fame. We beat you with the deal, we get insane.
Cardinals are threatening again. They lead the Padres in San Diego game 1, 6-3. They got runners at first and third with a couple of outs in the top of the fourth. That could be a game where a lot of runs are scored. Already today, White Sox lose to Oakland 5-3, so that series tied 1-1. Cubs losers 5-1, in Wrigley. They're down 1-0 to the Marlins. The Braves were winners. The Houston Astros were winners, and the Houston Astros now sweep Minnesota. They're in round 2. Rays are winners, and they are also in round 2. So it has been A busy, busy day in baseball. More games still to come. We'll keep our eye on the Cardinals, of course, and then we get the NBA championship tonight. So lots of stuff going on as we get ready for crunch time.
Padres got out of the inning.
They got out of the inning. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the Cardinals have scored 6 but left 9 on base already.
Wow. This portion of the show brought to you by Homer. Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, and also Genesis of Olive Branch there. I've just gotten myself a brand new 2021 Sonata. This has new technology called Smart Park and all the other bells and whistles, and that's the beauty of Hyundais. First off, you get a limited lifetime powertrain warranty up to 100,000 miles on every new Hyundai, every new Genesis, and you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package on every new car, too. That's just one thing. All this new technology they have, and the 2021 G SUV, Genesis SUV is coming. That to go with all this wonderful technology for safety. Hyundai tied for the most number of top safety pick vehicles in 2020, and the 21s are even better. All you got to do is get on Lamar. You take it into Mississippi, first exits Craft Road, turn left right there. Go see the group that's been together for 13 years. They know what they're doing at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. It's time for Crunch Time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
Boop! Choo-choo!
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
On 1, on 2, on 3. Hey!
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Dave, we learned today that the NFL had the big challenge in front of it for the year, and they had gotten pretty lucky through 3 weeks. And now it looks like they're going to have a postponement or a delay at minimum, a delay for sure, between the Steelers and the Titans. You knew we'd get here at some point, and now we'll see how the NFL handles the challenge. But I would beg everybody, stop the bravado talk. Be cautious even in your lingo. It doesn't mean being scared. Just don't overpromise, because we know every schedule right now is a lightly shaded pencil.
Well, the bottom
line,
line,
every day is.
Hey, look, it happened in golf. There was a bump. They got through it. It happened in Major League Baseball. The Cardinals, who are now playing in the playoffs, there was a bump. They had to play all those doubleheaders. They got through it. It happened in the NBA. They got through it. The only place it didn't happen is the NHL, and that's a miracle. It's happened in college football. They get through it. Memphis is going to play Saturday in Dallas, knock on wood. You've just got to be prepared that there will be some delays. And, if it's till Monday or Tuesday for the Titans and the Steelers, so be it. That's not the worst thing in the world that could happen. But you've got to be prepared to get through it. I totally agree. I learned today that the NFLPA president said that all teams should go to grass fields. Listen to this. They've done the studies. They've got the data. There is a 28% higher rate of non-contact lower extremity injuries on artificial turf. That means no contact, just making a cut quickly on this synthetic turf. 28% more injuries, and 13 teams use turf. You've got to figure out a way to use real grass inside, and some do already. Maybe costly, but that's what I think the league is going to have to do.
And then you have Saquon Barkley plant on real grass at Soldier Field.
Yep.
And it
ripped out.
Could have.
Was that in Chicago or was that in New York?
It was in Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
He got hurt week 2 against the Bears. I could have done without. Going into today, Joey Votto, he's going to Cooperstown. Great Red. Not probably in the top 5 or 6 or 7 Reds of all time, but he's a great Cincinnati Reds player. Going into today, only 32 at-bats in his career in the postseason. He's a Reds lifer today, 2 of 5, but they came up short in a 4-hour and 39-minute marathon.
2 of 5, and they didn't score a run. Maybe that's the story of Joey Votto's life. Or career, I guess I should say. I could have done without this. Eli Drinkwitz, the new Missouri football coach, that's pretty outspoken. He said that the COVID testing in the SEC is kind of a free-for-all policy. He says there is no sharing at all of information. And I said this with the University of Memphis. I do believe these schools should be more, not necessarily totally
yes,
transparent.
They should, Dave.
They need to share
agreeable
information and just sort of let people know what's truly going on so we have a better sense of where we are.
But as Dick Girardi more or less said, he didn't say this exactly. I'm loosely using his words. College football is a every man for himself, free for all.
It is.
And it's a bad look. It has been a bad look in college football of we just don't give a darn. I mean, you don't care what the other league members do, the other institutions in your league. It's a bad look. Keeping a close eye tonight on all this baseball. The end of the Jays and Rays game, I guess, would be coming up. Cardinals trying to settle in and win a game in San Diego. The Yankees can eliminate Cleveland tonight. Long odds for Milwaukee against the Dodgers in the NBA Finals. Let's see what Jimmy Butler can do on defense and who's going to be the third guy behind LeBron and AD. LBJ and AD, who's next?
Kuzma. That is the guy that probably
KK?
will.
I like that.
Will
LBJ, AD, KK?
KK. There you go. Also, I'll be keeping an eye out here in about 3 minutes to see if John Camden, the 4-star Brewster Academy small forward, will pick Penny Hardaway and the University of Memphis Tigers. He is supposed to make that designation tonight. There's another announcement tomorrow. I think that may be at 1, so we may have news of that while we're on the air and plenty more. That'll do it for us. We've got to thank our friend T.J. Reeves, Barrett Jones. It's always good to see a local boy do great. He's done that with ESPN. Dick Girardi, Rich Phillips, and Steve Earhart. We'll do it again tomorrow at 3. Have a great night, everybody.
Family Leisure's done it again. We're talking about the world's biggest spa sale.